That's when you're going to have a psychological letdown.
Hey, Coach, what do you think of this vented wide-mouth can?
I'm very pleased that anything that might come out of it would be a positive thing.
Hey, Coach, in one word, what makes the vented can special?
Flow, F-L-O-W.
The vented wide-mouth can. It lets in air for a smooth, refreshing pour.
Coach, it says here that too much hairspray makes your follicles dry and brittle.
Well, that would be the big concern that I would have.
Yeah, well, it really should. Okay.
New on DVD Tuesday. The story is unforgettable.
Move over, sweetness. Make a place for Emmett.
Capture the excitement in the complete history of the Dallas Cowboys DVD. From Landry, Staubach, and Dorsett to T.O., Tony Romo, and the Wade Phillips era. All the great moments captured in this 2-DVD set.
Your Cowboys are world champions again.
Available Tuesday at NFLShop.com and wherever DVDs are sold.
The NFL Today on CBS Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines.
And welcome back to the NFL Today, where Coors Light takes you first on the field. The Raiders and the Bills are about to do battle, so let's head out to Orchard Park, where Don Criqui and Dan Fouts are standing by. Gentlemen.
Thanks, JB. Ralph Wilson Stadium, Orchard Park, New York, sold out again as the 2-0 Bills meet the Oakland Raiders. Buffalo fans are always energized, and when the Raiders come to town, everybody is. You always can count on a sellout when Oakland's in the building. The Raiders have beaten the Bills the last 4 times they played. This is Don Criqui with NFL Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. There's a feeling in Western New York that something's happening here, and to Bills fans, it's perfectly clear. They think this has the look of an NFL playoff team, something they've not had in 9 years. Coach Dick Duran has them believing, Dan.
Well, because of that great win they had last week in Jacksonville in that heat. A win today would give the Bills a 3-0 start, something that hasn't happened in a very long time. Quarterback Trent Edwards is a big part of the reason spirits are high here in Western New York. The Stanford grad was impressive last week against the Jaguars. He completed 20 of 25 passes with no interceptions. He got it done, especially to the tall receiver, James Hardy, for the winner. Defensively, Marshawn Lynch is the big key for Oakland to stop on defense today. He's the all-around back that the Bills were hoping for when they drafted him. And on defense, Marcus Stroud and Kavika Mitchell, the 2 offseason pickups, have really picked up the defense. They've held opponents to just 91 yards rushing a game. Stroud makes a mess of that offensive line, and Kavika Mitchell cleans up the ball carriers.
Certainty clouds the future of the young head coach of the Oakland Raiders, Lane Kiffin. Will he stay or will he go? Through it all, though, Dan, he's holding up pretty well.
Well, he's really showed some maturity for a guy that's only 33 years old. He knows he can't be concerned with the rumors. He can only be concerned with how his team plays on the field. Last week, they played pretty well, bouncing back from that loss to Denver. Against Kansas City, it was a ground game that gained 300 yards, but it was costly for the Raiders. Justin Fargas pulled a muscle. Darren McFadden suffered a turf toe injury. McFadden, before the game today, took a pain-killing shot in his right foot. He jogged around the field, said he would play with pain, and they will also insert a steel plate in the bottom of his right shoe. So look for Michael Bush to get a lot of carries today, step in to prove he can be the man. The question on the defensive side of the ball is which Raider defense will show up today. The one that was embarrassed in that loss to Denver 41-14, or the dominating defense that allowed only 8 points to the Chiefs in Kansas City last week. We'll soon find out, Don.
And now let's review the Home Depot tools to victory.
Well, with the running back situation up in the air, pressure will be on the young quarterback, Jamarcus Russell. Can he pass the test? And for the Bills, Marshawn Lynch likes to refer to himself as the Beast. He wants to get into beast mode because he's so tough to stop. As a rookie, he gained 1,115 yards. So the Raiders, well, they need to run DMC as long as he can go and defensively load the box to stop the Bills' run and force Trent Edwards to beat him through the air. The Bills like their 1-2 punch of Lynch and Fred Jackson, and the Buffalo special teams have already scored 2 touchdowns this season. Bobby April, their coach, is the most creative special teams coach in the NFL.
For more Home Depot player stats, log on to CBSSports.com. We're almost ready to go at Ralph Wilson Stadium. The Bills and the Raiders, they've had some great games in this building. And we'll be back in a moment.
Tennessee takes on 9th-ranked Auburn. The SEC on CBS. College football at its best. Saturday.
All started with a big bang. The new season begins CBS Monday.
NFL Sunday Ticket, brought to you by IBM.
Browns, hey, what's the score? Broncos up by 3. Well, Browns about to score, baby. Yo, who's winning the game?
When all you want is Thursday Night Football. When all you want is expert analysis.
Enough cover to be a very effective.
I said the same thing last week.
Right. NFL Game Day on NFL Network.
What's going on?
Green.
Green?
New software.
Software can help us go green?
It's all about automation, consolidation, efficiency. We'll save millions in IT spending and energy costs.
Millions?
Millions.
How much did we spend on energy last year?
Millions.
Millions.
Get used to it.
Sears wants to see how folks are upgrading to the ultimate football experience. And Bill here says he's got a killer idea.
That's what I'm talking about. It's just a prototype, Mark, but it puts me right in the action. Pretty awesome, huh?
Upgrade to the ultimate football experience with top brand HD TVs from Sears.
Daddy, I can see the people now.
Right now, get no interest for 2 years or save 10% instantly on all HD TVs 40 inches and larger. Plus, find more ultimate deals at Sears.com/football. Fall forward, only at Sears.
If you know you can do it and you believe that you can do it, it can happen. That's what you want to do.
At his camp, the Colts' Bob Sanders taught me how to work hard, play smart, and believe in myself.
That's consistency. Dig, dig, dig. Finish, finish, finish. Don't give up. Never quit.
I'm Bob Sanders. Helping kids stay active and healthy is how I live United. Want to help? Find out how at liveunited.org.
The sun was out, the weather was great, and I got to hang out with Santana Moss.
Good job. Good job.
Gotta shuffle, gotta shuffle. Let's push it, let's push it, let's push it.
Get those feet. Can I buy those off you?
Turn around, turn around, turn around.
Let's go, Allie, let's go.
Santana says it's important for kids to get outside and play, so we can grow up healthy and strong.
I'm Santana Moss. Helping kids stay active and healthy is how I live United. Want to help? Go to liveunited.org.
Back in Western New York, Bills coach Dick Duran's message to his team: be tough, be physical, because that's what the Oakland Raiders are going to be. Today's game is brought to you in high definition by Sony. High definition, it's in our DNA. Good weather, overcast, and we'll be back with the Raiders and the Bills in the kickoff in a moment.
Presenting Subway Fresh Buzz, a look at football's most buzzworthy teams, brought to you by Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
But I guarantee you.
Cloudy, a lot of humidity in the air. The Bills have won the toss and they have deferred. They will take the ball to start the third quarter of play. They'll kick it off. There's an excellent kicker from Washington State, Ryan Lindell. And back deep for the Raiders, ready to go after it is Johnny Lee Higgins. He's averaging almost 29 yards a kickoff return. Here's Lindell into the football, and we're underway. from the 2. Got a gap. Johnny Lee crosses midfield, and the race is on, and they finally get him out of bounds at the 30-yard line of the Bills. Ryan Lindell, the guy who kicked off, Dan, finally got him out of bounds. That was a 68-yard kickoff return.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. The wedge is really well formed here. 4 men holding hands, creating the crease to the near side of the field, and there's the burst of speed that you need if you're a return man. Lane Kiffin told me yesterday he's been working hard with Higgins to make sure that he knows just to get what he can get, follow his blocking, and then use his natural ability, that burst, that speed, and the decision to kick off may come back to bite Dick Duran and the Bills.
Well, what he can get is 68 yards on the opening kickoff return, and now motion in the defensive line. We'll see if a false start drew him off. Carl Cheffers, our NFL referee.
Neutral zone, in fact, fraction on the defense, number 59. 5-yard penalty.
Well, Kavika Mitchell moves too early, and 2 negative plays for Dick Duran and the Bills. But interesting, I'm sure he was thinking that with his tough defense, they'd pin the Raiders deep in their own end, force the young quarterback to be a little bit more uncomfortable. But this is where you want to start your ball game, 25-yard line for Oakland.
1st and 5 at the Bills' 25. Yards come tough against this Bills defense. They allowed only 66 yards rushing to Jacksonville last week. As we take a look at Jamarcus Russell, a nice quarterback rating, almost 85, but he's only completed 8 passes to wide receivers so far. There's his offensive line, a new starter at left tackle. Quayne Harris is out, and Mario Henderson. Bills are looking at that to get a pass rush going. McFadden, the ace runner, and Ashley Lee starts today at wide receiver. Former Denver Bronco. Good play fake by Jamarcus Russell. Fastball on target to the 10-yard line. Javon Walker comes back at the ball. A beautifully executed play. A 12-yard gain. Here's the defense of the Bills. They had trouble stopping the run last year, but that's changed now that big Marcus Stroud is into the defensive line. Linebackers, Posluszny, his rising star middle backer, the former leading tackler all-time at Penn State. And good defensive secondary. Bills really sound in all 3 phases of the game, but they weren't too sound, Dan, on kick coverage to open the game as the Raiders busted a 68-yarder. 1st and goal, Oakland. Russell gets time on target. He drills it to Javon Walker again. Posluszny's there to tackle him.
And Javon Walker, Don, that's his first 2 catches of the season. Did not catch a ball against Denver or against Kansas City, but he's working the middle. The pass protection here is just perfect. Look at the throwing lane and the strength of the arm to get it by the linebacker to his receiver at the 5-yard line.
This a great start for the Raiders. And they don't want to leave this red zone without 7. After that 68-yard opening kickoff return by Johnny Lee Higgins. Here's Jamarcus Russell looking at the end zone. Lobs the ball away. The #1 mantra. Value the ball. If it's not there, throw it away.
And in talking to Greg Knapp, offensive coordinator for the Raiders, he's been impressed with the football smarts of Jamarcus Russell. He's really, really coachable. And he does the smart thing. Throwing the ball away right here keeps everything on track for the Raiders. This is a big 3rd down, but it's better than forcing a ball and having it picked up, obviously.
Now Michael Bush is in as the running back. 3rd down and goal. Russell with a fade pattern is not going to be close. So the Bills, Tenatog was Ashley Lee. The Bills stand tall. That really was an unplayable ball. It was too much lob on it.
Well, what Russell saw is he saw 2 Buffalo Bills on Ashley Lee. Lee is their specialist down here as far as being able to go up in the air and grab a high pass. But that was great coverage by the Bills secondary.
And here is Sebastian Janikowski, who hit a Raider record 56-yarder last week at Kansas City. This will be a 23-yarder, a chip shot. The Raiders take the lead. So the 68-yard opening kickoff return by Johnny Lee Higgins ignites the Raiders. They come away with 3. They'll kick off next.
The NFTV is brought to you in part by Nissan, the official vehicles of the NFL.
So far ahead, its intelligent CVT transmission redefines smooth acceleration. Its dual-panel moonroof brings light to everyone. It sees traffic in real time and controls your iPod just like an iPod. So far ahead, the rest of the world will have to catch up. Introducing the future of the crossover, here, now. The all-new 2009 Nissan Murano.
I can't believe you're going away to school.
Hey, guy's got to find his own way.
You put the 4 of us in your 10.
Yes, sir.
Who's this Ellen?
Just a girl I know.
Hold on, you got a girl?
Not tell us about that.
Do you have pictures?
Foxy?
Hey, buddy, ready to go?
Yeah.
Ellen, honey, let's go.
It's your mom. That's adorable.
Where's his underwear? I gotta stitch his name in it.
Now get unlimited talk and text with 10 friends from $25 for a limited time.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC.
And I'm a Mac genius, and I'm here to announce that it's easier than ever to switch to a Mac.
Easier? What's she talking about?
Oh, CPC, when you buy a Mac at the Apple Store, Mac Genius will transfer your files from your old PC to your new Mac for free.
We do all the work.
Oh, no. My frustrated users don't need to hear about that. You see, fear of switching is the foundation of customer loyalty for PCs. So, we'll just shut this down.
What are you doing, PC?
Going off the air.
This is Don Criqui with Dan Fouts. Back at Ralph Wilson Stadium, the Raiders, after returning the opening kickoff, 68 yards. Johnny Lee Higgins ran it. Failed to get a touchdown. They did get a 23-yard field goal from Janikowski, who's now ready to kick it off. And there is Leonis McKelvin, the Bills' top draft choice. They have so many good kick returners on Buffalo, they say he's too good to keep off the field. Here comes McKelvin from Troy State. And he gets it out with a change of direction move out to about the 26-yard line, where John Alston, a former Stanford player, gets him down. And here comes another former Stanford player, Trent Edwards. What a time he is having in his second year in the league, a third-round draft choice. His offensive line has a Pro Bowler, maybe an All-Pro at left tackle in Jason Peters. Very strong up front. He's hard to sack because he gets the ball away so quickly. I know, watching him on Friday, Dan, you were impressed with his throwing motion.
Yeah, he's a great athlete, and the thing that's so good about his throwing motion is so quick, compact, gets it out quickly.
Takes short drops, gets the ball away quickly. Raiders want to disrupt him, want to reroute the receivers. Rob Ryan said here is a handoff, and the hard-working Marshawn Lynch is gang tackled by the Raiders after a gain of 3 out to the 29-yard line. Let's look at the Raiders on defense now. Burgess, Kelly, Warren, and Richardson across the front. Dangerous linebackers, great pass coverers, and Morrison and Howard between them. They intercepted 10 passes last year. And Howard ran 2 of them back for touchdowns.
He runs a 4.4 40. He might be the fastest linebacker in the league.
He's from UTEP. That's where Johnny Lee Higgins is from, who ran back the opening kickoff 68 yards for the Raiders. Trent Edwards. Off the hands of Marshawn Lynch. The ball skips into the secondary. Kind of a dangerous throw. The Raiders almost had a play on it.
He threw the ball just too hard for Marshawn Lynch. Lynch gets his head around, and zip, the ball goes right by him. And also, it was off target. When a running back is on his route, a hook route like that, you want to try to throw it right at his chest. Makes it easier for him. He doesn't have to worry about reaching and then getting hit by a linebacker.
And that incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 7. Trent Edwards with a quarterback rating of almost 108. Here comes trouble, and they sack Trent Edwards back at the 15-yard line. Gerard Warren with a big play, a 12-yard loss on that sack. Warren was the number 3 pick in the entire draft when he came out of Florida and went to Cleveland.
Now he's number 61. This is his 2nd sack of the season. He had a great game last week, according to Rob Ryan. Said it was probably one of his best games of his career, and he's off to a pretty good start this afternoon here in Buffalo.
And now the punter's on the field. A two-time Pro Bowler, Brian Moorman, and the ever-dangerous Johnny Lee Higgins is back for the Raiders at their 30. Booms the ball. Johnny Lee back to the 20. Yanni breaks the coverage and gets out to the 40 line of Oakland before he's run out of bounds by Keith Ellison. A 62-yard punt, an 18-yard return, and the Raiders with Jamarcus Russell take their 3-0 lead back on the field.
The backbone of any truck is its frame. That's why the Nissan Titan's frame is fully boxed. Unlike competitors' C-frames that are prone to flexing, our boxed frame is the strongest truck frame we've ever built. Just one more reason, it's the Titan of trucks. The 317 horsepower, full-size Nissan Titan.
When you think of the Amish, you envision old world quality, craftsmanship, discipline, pride and dedication, tradition, style and taste. But for all the things that you do expect, it's what you don't expect that is really going to impress you. We're not as old-fashioned as you think. Okay, maybe a little bit old-fashioned. Amish Furniture Outlet. Quality craftsmanship with your style in mind.
I'm not going anywhere. Who's gonna look after the cats? Ha! That's a good one. You won't like me as a lobster. You look like a princess in that. Well, aren't you as sweet as you call me? We'll talk next week.
Get a Rogers LG View at T-Booth in your nearest mall. Visit tbooth.ca for details.
Wendy's Friday Night Football.
That is the record breaker.
The Bombers are on a late charge for the playoffs as the Eskies come to town. Blue Bombers, Eskimos. Friday at 7:30. Wendy's CFL on TSN.
Back to sold-out Ralph Wilson Stadium. Raiders coming off an impressive win at Kansas City. Out 3-0 on a field goal by Janikowski. Their first possession. Here's Russell. A timing throw. It's off the hands of his receiver at the midfield line. It was Ashley Lilly.
That's unfortunate. That was a perfect throw by Jamarcus Russell to the outside where only his receiver could make that catch. Lilly just had it zip right off his fingertips.
Talking to one of the Raider offensive coaches before the game, Dan, Paul Hackett, said, what impresses you about Jamarcus Russell? He said, phenomenal ability, and he wants to be great. He'll work it.
He has worked it. So once he reported to camp, he's been a perfect student.
Russell gets time. Great defense by the Bills. Dropping back was Posluszny, that middle backer. Got a hand on the ball. This guy's a real player. Had over 100 tackles, 3 straight years at Penn State, Paul Posluszny.
There he is, number 51, reading the coverage, dropping into a zone, and then looking at the eyes of the quarterback. Good job of coming off his initial responsibility and being an athlete and making a play on the ball.
You see, he's calling the defensive signals. This is really his rookie year. He's in the second year, but he missed all of last year. He was actually hurt in the third game with a broken arm. Here is a handoff. Hard running Michael Bush working ahead on a 3rd and 10 play. Gets to about the 5-yard line with a run stopper. The guy that you said, Dan, can mess up an offensive line. Marcus Stroud stops him.
Yeah, he's been a real big part of this defensive improvement for Buffalo. Interesting, though, for the Raiders, Darren McFadden's only carried the ball one time for a couple of yards. Was out on the last couple of 3rd down situations.
Now Shane Leckler ready to punt for the Raiders. The very dangerous Roscoe Parrish is back for the Bills. He's already broken one for a touchdown this year. High punt. Well done by the perennial Pro Bowler Leckler as he forces a fair catch. 43-yard punt, all net yardage. So the Bills start deep in their own end, trailing the Raiders 3-0.
So far ahead, its intelligent CBT transmission redefines smooth acceleration. Its dual-panel moonroof brings light to everyone. It sees traffic in real time and controls your iPod, just like an iPod. So far ahead, the rest of the world will have to catch up. Introducing the future of the crossover, here, now. The all-new 2009 Nissan Murano.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC, here with good news for anyone who's ever been frustrated by Vista.
Oh, you're fixing the problems.
No, I'm making them easier to live with my new line of calming teas. There's Crashy Time Chamomile, just the thing to soothe the nerves after a Vista-related crash. Or if Vista's making your applications run slow, there's Pomegranate Patience. Now, mornings are raspberry restart time for me.
That's great, PC.
Also afternoons, but...
We should move on.
Yes, let's move on, Mac, to my line of Vista stress-relieving bath salts.
You're fast, but he'll make you faster. You run hard, he'll show you how to run harder. And you're good, but he'll make you better.
This fall, discover the true story of a coach. We shouldn't play him.
I'm playing. You're damn right you are.
And the player who would become the first African American to win the Heisman Trophy.
What matters is what you play for.
The Express. In theaters Friday, October 10th.
In the 90s, the Bills went to the playoffs virtually every year. They went to the Super Bowl 4 straight years, but it's been a long time since that last playoff team.
Yeah, it's 1999, the last time the Bills were there. You know, we've only played 2 games of a brutal 16-game season, but this town of Buffalo and the western New York area fired up about Dick Duran's ball club. I think that win when they scored 10 points in the last 4 minutes against Jacksonville last week stoked the fires.
Bills defeated 2 playoff teams from last year already, Seattle and Jacksonville. Here is a handoff. Marshawn Lynch is thrown back by the Raider defense. Middle backer Kirk Morrison, former San Diego State Aztec, throws him back.
And a former native of Oakland, California. Never played against each other. Kirk a little bit older than Marshawn, but he went to Bishop O'Dowd, and Lynch, of course, Oakland Tech Bulldog. They're familiar with each other, though. Better be familiar with number 23.
How about we asked Marshawn Lynch's football hero in the NFL, Jeff Hostetler, at quarterback.
That's a good one. You know, strange pick, but a good one.
Here is a Marshawn Lynch. Like Walter Payton, he doesn't look for that out-of-bounds line. He's taking on tacklers, an 8-yard gain. Asamoah makes the play on the sideline for the Raiders.
I like that comparison, Don, because watch this at the end. This is the exclamation point you want to see out of your running back. He drills Asamoah on his way out of bounds and picks up the first down for the Bills.
Rob Ryan, he told me before the game, he said Asamoah is clearly the best cornerback in the NFL. Right now, handoff goes. Marshawn Lynch comes out of the gap on first down. And when you asked him the other day, Dan, about what's his philosophy of running, he said you just keep fighting in there and hope you get out of this.
Yeah, he's trying to find his way out of this.
The scrum.
And he does. More time. Look at how he drags Ricky Brown for about 6 yards. Watch the leg drive, the power, the desire. He's got it all.
5'11", 215. Last year he missed 3 games with an ankle injury, but Lynch still rushed for over 1,100 yards. Lynch, second and short. Forward progress. He's going to have the first down. He's out to the 34-yard line. Will Wilson stopped him.
Now the thing you see when you see Marshawn Lynch is great rookie season. Stepping in as he did as a #1 pick. Plays with joy. And he's always striving for that extra yard. You think you've got him. You got an arm around his ankle, but that other leg will keep driving and pull him through and pick up first downs as he did on that play.
So the Bills down 3-0 now. Getting after it with the running game. Here is a downfield throw, a nice connection, but the Raiders defend it well. A gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards to tight end Robert Royal. Sam Williams makes the stop.
Seventh catch of the season for Royal, and good job of Edwards. That was an all-out blitz by the Raiders, and when you know it's coming, you can see them coming at you. You're going to get hit but you got to keep your focus down the field. Edwards did a super job that time.
Edwards told us at practice on Friday the Raiders are an intimidating team, but that's good for us because we won't take them lightly. We know we have to play the same way. He's already been sacked once. A 12-yard loss. Gerard Warren got him. Swing pass. Fred Jackson. Ricky Brown comes up and makes the stop.
That's one, Don, that's one thing they did so well last week against the Jags. Fred Jackson caught 7 passes last week, and he broke many tackles, but not that time. Ricky Brown tripped him up before he could get underway, but it's a good 1-2 punch for the Bills, having Fred Jackson and Marshawn Lynch, very similar. They can both be every down backs.
Jackson, he's a very, he does it all. He runs, catches, blocks. Now 3rd down. 3rd and 4. Trent Edwards. They give him time. He overshoots. Roscoe Parrish coming across the middle, so the Bills drive stalls, and they'll have to punt again.
Really solid defense by the secondary that time of the Raiders. Across the middle comes Roscoe Parrish right here. And that's just a ball thrown too far. Edwards anticipating that Parrish would stop on his route, but against man-to-man, he's got to keep running as he did.
And here is Brian Moorman out again to punt for the Bills. Booms a high one. He's so slight of stature. What whip in his leg. Johnny Lee Higgins. Did it hit the line? It did. It's a touchback. Comes out to the 20. That's where the Raiders will start. So the opening 68-yard kickoff return by Higgins set up the Raiders. They ended up with a 23-yard field goal, and they lead 3-0.
So what exactly is 3G? It's what helps you get the news really fast. Find your way really fast. And download pretty much anything really fast. The new iPhone 3G. The internet. You guessed it. Really fast.
Collect letters from Coca-Cola drinks to play online, and you could win up to $250,000. And in store, a smart car, tickets to Universal concerts, and many more great prizes instantly. Subway, think fresh, eat fresh.
Coca-Cola. Thing since 1886. A secret formula for great taste and refreshment. Made from delicious ingredients from around the world. No added preservatives, no artificial flavors. Just the most uplifting drink of all time.
TSN2. More games, more sports, more choice.
Back to overcast Western New York. Raiders with a 3-0 lead, starting the shotgun on this possession. Man, they break it. There is Michael Bush. And Fouts, he was your fantasy league pick today. Got 16 there.
Yeah, that was a direct snap to Darren McFadden, who's playing tailback, and he handed it off to Bush. Check this out. There's McFadden right here. And it's a read option play. Don't be surprised if we don't see that again. With McFadden will take the ball and keep it and go around the end.
And don't be surprised if we see McFadden aligned as a wide receiver. He can catch it. McFadden running hard in the left side. Kyle Williams, a big run stopper, makes the tackle. Tuesday on CBS, see why Entertainment Weekly calls The Mentalist a fun, fast-paced treat. Simon Baker stars as The Mentalist, premiering Tuesday on CBS.
That was just the second carry of the afternoon for McFadden, but they did run right where they ran 2-to-1 times last week against Kansas City. A lot of success running right for the Raiders last week.
This is 2nd and 8. McFadden getting low. He had really, for some guys, a career last week. 164 yards against Kansas City. It was interesting, Dan. They were running on 3rd and long a lot of times. The running game was so strong.
Lane Kiffin said they gained over 150 yards on the ground on 3rd downs against the Chiefs. And McFadden stays in the game, but you know he slipped trying to cut off his right foot on that play, or he might have had big yardage. Keep your eye on that.
He's the lone back behind Jamarcus Russell. Raiders need 5 to keep the drive going. McFadden.
And again, Don, he slipped on his right foot trying to cut inside. You don't know if it's the turf toe injury or if it's the field. This is a turf field, so the traction's pretty good, but trying to make too severe a cut goes down for a short loss there.
So that brings Shane Leckler out again, and Roscoe Parrish out to return the punt for the Bills. There's Roscoe from Miami of Florida. Rick Duran says of him, he's not only hard to tackle, he's hard to even touch. He's so quick. Bills get a big rush. Booming punt. Another great punt by Leckler. They usually are great ones. And so the Bills again in this field position game after a 49-yard punt. Bills start deep in their own end.
The NFL on CTV is brought to you in part by Nissan, the official vehicles of the NFL.
The backbone of any truck is its frame. That's why the Nissan Titan's frame is fully boxed. Unlike competitors' C-frames that are prone to flexing, our boxed frame is the strongest truck frame we've ever built. Just one more reason, it's the Titan of trucks. The 317 horsepower, full-size Nissan Titan.
I think quality time is important in a relationship. So, Albert's teaching me how to cook with Philly. We're making Philly pasta. It's gonna be divine. We add smooth, creamy Philly to mushrooms and pesto, and look how Philly melts. Oh, Albert. Albert cooks with Philly a lot. Now we can enjoy Philly and Albert more often. Cooking with Philly, a little taste of heaven. Get inspired at cookingwithphilly.ca.
Touchstone Pictures presents Miracle at St. Anna. In 1983, Hector Negron killed a man. In his home, they found a priceless artifact.
What's it doing buried in the bottom of your closet?
It was a clue to a mystery that began in World War II. Miracle at St. Anna is one of the best films of 2008. Director Spike Lee delivers a classic of epic size and scope.
No, I'm the only one who knows.
Miracle at St. Anna, in theaters September 26th.
Don Craigie with Dan Fouts back at Ralph Wilson Stadium. It's not that cold here. Jamarcus Russell, of course, is from Louisiana, so he's got the parka on, 65 degrees. Got to have Jamarcus come in here in December.
Great being here in September.
Hand off to Marshawn Lynch, and he's stonewalled again. Jay Richardson and Turdell Sands make the stop. Boy, I was at the opening game, the Raiders in Denver. The Raiders were ready to look awful the last 2 weeks, so they've really stepped it up.
Now, this defensive line is quicker than the Buffalo offensive line. There's no offensive line in the league that's bigger than the Bills, but the Raiders feel their advantage are these fellows right up front here with their speed and quickness, and right now that is bearing true.
Well, Trent Edwards is going to throw here on 2nd down and 10. Got his guy, but he drops it. Would have been an 8-yard gain to Robert Royal, but the defender, Michael Huff, a very good defender, #1 pick in 06 out of Texas, knocked it away.
Against the Raiders, they play so much man-to-man. They're bringing more pressure. They brought a lot of pressure last week against the young quarterbacks of the Chiefs. Rob Ryan knows that Trent Edwards is inexperienced. He does a good job, but he's going to try and give him as many looks as possible and as much pressure, especially early in the game.
Yeah, he said we want to pressure him. We want to reroute his receivers, knock them off their routes. 3rd and 10, tough down for the Bills deep in their own end. Edwards down to the 10-yard line. Terrific defense by the Raiders. D'Angelo Hall broke through. Tommy Kelly did. They're keeping the heat on. They're overrunning that good offensive line.
Well, they get good field position, and really the Bills have not been able to do anything on the ground except for maybe 1 or 2 good Marshawn Lynch runs. But that's a double safety blitz here. They brought the corner. You talk about looks. Jabril Wilson and D'Angelo Hall on the blitz.
And in this field position game, the Bills now punting from their goal line. Orman hits a knuckleball downfield. Johnny Lee Higgins lets it hop, and he'll run it back. Man alive, he almost broke that one. Live ball. Was it out of bounds? We'll see. Official now pointing at the sideline, saying it hit the white line.
Well, I did not hear a whistle or anything. Oakland ball. From the end zone, we'll get a real good look at how close he came down the sidelines to stepping out. Number 1. Yeah, he's out before the ball comes loose. That's a good call. Higgins slow to get up after this tackle.
Great look at it.
First down, Oakland.
And again, the Raiders have fabulous field position.
Jamarcus Russell, so early in his career, he didn't start a game last year until the 17th game. He played in a couple of earlier ones. So he's really in his infancy as an NFL quarterback. They said on Friday he had his best practice yet since he's joined the Raiders.
He completed something like 27 to 29 passes in practice. That's pretty good.
Right now, let's see if he's going to throw. He play fakes. He's going to throw. Downfield ball. What a catch. Ashley Lilly going low and taking the ball at the Bills' 19-yard line. An absolutely excellent offensive play by the Raiders. A 22-yard gain.
Now, the key here is getting back quickly, planting that right foot and letting it rip. And watch how this ball comes in low and easy to catch for Ashley Lilly. Tight coverage by Terrence McGee, but when you throw a ball like that, that's like a pitcher hitting the outside corner on the black. Perfect strike by Jamarcus Russell.
Now Michael Bush in the game. 1st and 10 Raiders at the Bills' 20. Off target. 2nd and 10. Zach Miller was the target, and Jamarcus Russell saying that that's the guy he really looks to as a go-to receiver.
Yeah, he calls him Mr. Everything. But that time, Miller had real trouble shaking that man, Kavika Mitchell. Mitchell runs well, very knowledgeable of the passing game, and he's got a Super Bowl ring from his days with the New York Giants.
Yeah, he was a key defender for the Giants last season. They felt that one of the reasons they signed him in free agency, they felt he brought a lot of leadership to a defense. Running hard, Michael Bush straight ahead. Marcus Stroud stops him. Raiders go right at the Bills defense. The Bills in the first game allowed Seattle only 85 yards rushing. Last week, Jacksonville only got 66 yards rushing.
And when you talk about Jacksonville's rushing attack, you're talking about Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew.
Raiders already have 31 yards rushing here in the first quarter. 3rd and 8 coming up. 51 seconds to go in the quarter. Raiders with a 3-0 lead on a 23-yard field goal by Janikowski. 4-man rush. Long ball to the end zone. Defense is really good as Javon Walker was going for it. Jabari Greer was covering. And so they'll send out Sebastian Janikowski again.
Walker caught the first 2 passes from Russell this afternoon. This is a good throw, great coverage, good effort. Just a little bit too far, but that coverage by Jabari Greer, you don't play it any better than he did.
Russell doing the right thing. He put too much. Greer might have picked it off. 36-yard field goal attempt. Janikowski, Polish-born, played at Florida State. Was a #1 draft choice in 2000. He unloads and knocks it right through again. So on a pair of field goals, the Raiders now have extended to a 6-0 lead late in the first quarter. Raiders kick off when we come back.
A new era in sports television. Canada's sports leader brings you more of what you want when you want it. More of your favorite events from the world of sports. Now, you have a choice, and you won't miss a thing. Live coverage and primetime replays of the day's best. For more information, contact your local television provider or visit tsn2.ca. TSN2. More games, more sports, more coverage.
Get the fully customizable Keeper League you've always wanted with Fantasy Football Commissioner. It's at cbssports.com/fantasy. There's Leotis McKelvin now going back out onto the field to return the kickoff. Bobby April, their special teams coach, said he's just too good to keep off the field, even with guys like Terrence McGee, who's had 7 career returns for touchdowns. Janikowski can kick off deep. Wind starting to come up now. You see the flags starting to go in different directions. It starts to swirl. Here is the kickoff. Short kickoff. And returned nicely by Fred Jackson, who was the up back to block for McKelvin. So the Bills get their best starting position here, Dan, at about the 39-yard line.
What a super play by number 22. He had to run a long way for that pooch kickoff by Janikowski. And when he got there, he knew that the coverage would be coming. But watch him catch this ball above his head with his hands on the dead run at about the 20-yard line. That's a phenomenal play. And then to keep his balance, knowing that bad things are about to happen with the silver and black coming down.
And so far, the Bills' passing game not productive. Edwards 2 of 5 for just 6 yards. He's been sacked once for a 12-yard loss. Here come blitzers. He improvises, and very nicely. First down and a whole lot more. He gets the ball to Darian Barnes, his fullback. So Trent Edwards pulls a rabbit out of a hat and gets a 26-yard gain out of it.
Boy, he had to pull a rabbit out of his hat because the hat was collapsing around him. Great job of mobility in the pocket, and then being aware enough to know that Barnes is to the outside. Barnes' first catch of the year, and it's a beauty.
You're fast, but he'll make you faster. You run hard, he'll show you how to run harder. You're good, but he'll make you better.
This fall, discover the true story of a coach.
We shouldn't play him.
I'm playing. You're damn right you are.
And the player who would become the first African American to win the Heisman Trophy.
What matters is what you play for.
The Express. In theaters Friday, October 10th.
So you're telling me we're both insured, even with our medical history?
That's right. Your life insurance coverage is approved. And we're just a toll-free call away to help you and your loved ones when you need us.
It's never been easier or more affordable to protect your loved ones. If you're aged 20 to 80, you can apply. Plans range from $1,000 to $500,000, with an additional $250,000 if death is accidental, and all benefits are tax-free. Plus, receive our compassionate quality service for pennies a day.
Congratulations.
Well, thanks very much. That's great.
Most plans just ask a few simple questions over the phone, or call your local life insurance broker. It's that simple. Compare our rates. You could possibly save 30% or more, and payments never increase for the life of the policy. And you're under no obligation to buy. Call us now toll-free at 1-866-718-6060.
2 field goals by Sebastian Janikowski provided all the scoring as the Raiders lead 6-0, and the wind coming up now in Western New York. Sweeping down from Canada. No effect play, and here is Trent Edwards taking a drop to get some time, takes a look, fires over the middle, gets a drop ball by Marshawn Lynch. How about the Dolphins and the Patriots? Let's find out more from JB.
Don and Dan, Solomon Wilcott said that Ronnie Brown will get the start from Miami. He capitalizes with this 2-yard run there. That capped a 74-yard drive. Wow, look at this. Miami on top of New England. Miami trying to snap an 11-game road losing streak. Back to Don Criqui. Dan Fouts.
Thank you, JB. That's a good way to get started. Bills, of course, have 2 games coming up against the Patriots in their division. Here is Lynch trying to go wide, ridden down. Good linebacker play again. Eric Burgess runs him down. How about Tampa and Chicago? Brown.
Well, Tampa's Brian Greasy atoning for a pick he threw earlier caps an 8-play, 81-yard drive with that 4-yard strike to Ike Hilliard. That puts them on top, 7-6 over Chicago. We're in the second quarter play. Back to Don and Dan.
All right, JB, we're in Western New York. We have a 3rd down coming up now. 3rd and 11 with the ball is positioned. Trent Edwards from the shotgun. Rushers coming hard. Edwards has got to unload. He gets out of the tackle box, so it's not grounding, but these Raiders have kept the pressure on. It's been constant.
And, you know, in that time, Edwards ran out of the pocket. Pressure from here. He goes this way instead of stepping up in the pocket. If he steps up in the pocket, he might have had more time to throw, but trying to outrun the defensive end is not going to work.
Kalimba Edwards putting the heat on. It's amazing how these Raiders have come back from that very poor performance at home against Denver. Right now, they're playing some great football. Ryan Moorman ready to punt again. Directional punt to the far sideline. So the Raiders take over again with their 6-0 lead.
Connect to everything you love in life in a bold new way. Introducing BlackBerry Bold. As beautiful as it is powerful.
Canada prepares for election 2008. Turn to CTV News for the complete political picture. Leading up to election night, watch CTV National News with Lloyd Robertson.
You see, Dan, that the Raiders with their unusually good starting position on their drives.
And they're dominating this game, but just 2 field goals. They should have 2 touchdowns. So the Buffalo Bill defense is stiffened when the Raiders have gotten into the red zone.
Now the Raiders starting at their 13. Both arms on the ball. Darren McFadden, a 2-time runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. Busts straight ahead and gets to about the 18-yard line.
And this is 3 times that he has slipped trying to cut off his right foot. There he goes down, or that might have been a huge gain as well. He's so dynamic and he's got such great speed that once he breaks into the secondary, it'd be very tough to catch from behind. But he is playing on a bad wheel.
4 carries for 12 yards for McFadden. He comes in averaging 7 yards a carry. McFadden, that'll up his average out to the 30 and a first down. Simpson, one of the safeties, gets him down. Big block by the fullback Justin Griffith.
And running behind Mario Henderson is just making his second start, number 75. Real good kick out block on Aaron Schobel, but there's some of that explosiveness and running left, breaking a Raider tendency that they established last week against the Chiefs. 12 yards on that run.
And the ball is out to the Raiders 30. This time the gap is shut down quickly. The run stopper from LSU, Kyle Williams. Number 95 was in there to pop him.
Both Williams and Stroud really form a really tough 2 defensive tackle because they allow Postlosny to run behind them freely. But they also make tackles. That's 10 tackles on the season for Kyle Williams, and Marcus Stroud has 15 tackles on the season.
Last season, the Bills allowed 4.4 yards a rush to the opposition. That is a losing number. They've tightened that up. Jamarcus Russell dumps it off, and there's a penalty marker thrown in the air by the umpire. Usually indicates an offensive penalty. We'll see.
Eligible player downfield, number 64, offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That screen pass a little late developing, but this is what has to concern the Raiders. Darren McFadden, of course, he had the pain-killing injection in his right foot before the game because of the turf toe, and a steel plate put in the bottom of his shoe. It's apparent that he's got very little ability to cut off that right foot, but his left foot's not bad.
He's got 2 good ones. A very humble young man for all his talent and ability.
He was really enjoyable sitting and talking with him yesterday, along with linebackers Kirk Morrison and Thomas Howard. They're very upbeat about their chances this afternoon.
Well, right now they lead 6-0. 3rd and 10. Russell in trouble. Watt wall. Bills have it. 23-yard line of the Raiders. Paul Postlosny gets the ball. Number 90, Chris Kelsey, stripped it.
Yeah, looking for a receiver taking too much time in the pocket and then not securing the ball with 2 hands. Watch the pressure from the outside here. That's Kelsey. Number 90 gets by that block and just as relentless after the quarterback. But right here, Russell's got to feel that, and he will with experience. Great play by Kelsey with the right hand, chopping that ball loose. And heads up by Paul Postlosny.
He's made a couple of terrific plays, Postlosny. And remember that pass he broke up, would gone for a big gain. He left and tipped it away. 2nd round draft choice a year ago. 1st and 10 Bills. Swing pass. The fullback. Darian Barnes comes inside the 15-yard line and down close to the 13. Very close to a first down. Looks like it's just short. Be 2nd and short.
And this is a part of the offense that Turk Schonert, the new offensive coordinator, wanted to establish here in Buffalo, bringing the fullback back into the game. He gives us a power run game, Turk told me, but he also is important in the play action pass, as he was that time. He's got the most yardage receiving for Trent Edwards here in the first half.
Less than a yard on 2nd down needed. Lynch, the yards come grudgingly against a tough Raider defense. Kirk Morrison, that middle backer, who told his defensive coordinator, Rob Ryan, we need to be more aggressive.
Well, they're having trouble getting the Raiders off their feet. And as an offensive line, that's important so that the running back can get a lane or 2. But right now, the Raiders are just showing their team speed and quickness sideline to sideline. Morrison, the leading tackler for the Raiders the last 4 years. Got another one there.
Heat play now. 3rd down and 1 for the Bills, trailing 6-0 second quarter. Lynch, the lone runner. Here's the pitch to him. Lead blockers. Lynch gets the first down and more as he gets down close to the goal line. Did he get it over the pylon? The Bills are, yes, it is a touchdown. He got the ball extended over the pylon. That is a touchdown, cracking the plane of the goal. 14-yard touchdown run, and the Bills can take the lead with the extra point.
I think he might have stepped out of bounds. I just think that right along this line, right, maybe right there. Boy, that's going to be reviewed for sure. Number one, is this out of bounds there?
Well,
nope, it's not. But here, that's a touchdown and a remarkable effort by Marshawn Lynch. Fabulous play.
So the Bills capitalize on the first turnover of the game. And now their place kicker, Ryan Lindell, is out to give them the lead with the extra point. He's never missed an extra point in an NFL game. And he makes that one. So the Bills defense sets it up. Marshawn Lynch takes it in, 14 yards out.
They always take the armoire, never take the moose.
Or the fish. It's good to take home found treasures. Introducing the new Toyota Highlander crossover. With flat folding seats, it's good to be here.
An unimaginable reality.
What happened?
It's bad. It's not good.
Talk to us.
A hero shot down.
Listen to me. Horatio's gone. He's dead. Okay?
Oh, my God.
A team on the edge.
I released the body.
What?
I'm sorry. I didn't want him lying here in his own blood on the evening news.
Now, they will stop at nothing.
Horatio had enemies. We know that.
This doesn't make sense.
To discover the truth.
This must have been someone close.
A new season of CSI Miami. Tomorrow at 10, 9 Central on CTV.
Hey, can I join you guys?
Hop in.
Great.
It's good to make room. Introducing the new Toyota Highlander crossover. With 6+1 seating, it's good to be here.
The Bills have just taken lead as the former Oakland Tech Bulldog, and Hale Bear.
He was a Bulldog, too. In fact, he has the word or the name Oakland tattooed across his chest. You don't think this game is important to Marshawn Lynch? I think that effort to get in the end zone, spinning in the air, knowing where the pylon was, gives you an indication how important it is for number 23 today.
So you got many family or friends coming today? So they're all coming in.
Nobody's back home in Oakland watching it. They're all here.
There's Johnny Lee Higgins, who set the tone early with that opening kickoff return of 68 yards. Lindell booms it. Higgins from the goal line. Tremendous special teams hit. George Wilson, number 37, is the guy who comes up and makes the play. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
It's important now to see how Jamarcus Russell rebounds from his fumble. Last time out for the Raiders. And now trailing by 1 point.
Russell is 5 of 11 throwing the ball for 39 yards. Here comes the heat. Russell, boy, he throws fastballs. Too much on it for Ashley Lee.
That was a fastball thrown behind Lee, but the effort by Lee leaves me a little bit befuddled. One hand. This is the National Football League. You're not going to catch this fastball with one hand.
Well, your man John Jefferson with the Chargers used to have that one-hand grab.
Yeah, but I didn't have the fastball.
Right. He had the completion, though. Here's Lilly from Hawaii, the former Denver Bronco top pick. Russell again on the rollout. Here comes Schobel, long ball. And the Bills have it defended beautifully as they go deep to Ashley Lilly. Terrence McGee was covering. Is an upset brewing at Gillette Stadium in New England. Here's James Brown.
Don and Dan, it is indeed. And Ronnie Brown, the headliner so far, with his second rushing touchdown of the day. This one, 15 yards. That caps a six-play, 79-yard drive. 14-3 Miami over New England. Halfway through the second. Back to Don and Dan.
Who'd have thunk it? Never, ever count the Patriots out of a game. 3rd down and 10. Wow. Michael Bush on 3rd and 10 rips a 17-yarder.
And again, they're running left right through this gap here, expecting the pass play. Look how wide the ends are playing for Buffalo. Leslie overruns, or rather Kavika Mitchell overruns the cutback by Michael Bush. Huge conversion on 3rd down. Another big run for the Raiders on a 3rd down.
Yep. They did last week. Mario Henderson starting for Wayne Harris, a left tackle, got a big block on Posluszny. 1st down run to the 43. The Bengals playing at the Giants. James Brown has the story.
Don and Dan answering the Giants score. Cincinnati comes back. Chris Perry with the longest run of the year so far for Cincinnati. 25 yards to pay dirt. 8 plays, 74 yards. 10-7 Cincy over the Giants at the Meadowlands. Back to Don and Dan.
Wow, that's we saw the Bengals last week. They didn't look great.
They did not look even halfway great. They looked terrible.
Did not look stalwart.
Good start for them today.
Russell on 2nd and 8. Nice touch pass. Gets it to Michael Bush. But Posluszny covering the back out of the backfield gets him.
And that's what Greg Knapp is impressed with DeMarcus Russell, is the fact that he can learn from his mistakes. The ball he threw to Lilly earlier in this drive, too hard. That time, as you said, Don, he took something off, made it an easy catch for Bush, and brings up a makeable 3rd down and 3.
Last week, their 3rd down offense was the run. Aaron McFadden is the deep back. Justin Griffith offset as the lead blocker. They go to the throw.
Big play
Slapped
by
down.
Chris Kelsey. 3-step drop by DeMarcus Russell, and Kelsey just reading his eyes, almost picked this one off. Near side of the screen, watch, he's just dropping back into coverage and gets up in the air. Kelsey is 6'4". It's made 2 huge plays here in the 2nd quarter for Buffalo.
Momentum has certainly swung in this game. The turnover, teeing up the possession, but soon after, Buffalo turned into a touchdown on the 14-yard Marshawn Lynch run. Here's Shane Leckler to punt the ball. Averaging over 48 yards a punt for the season. Roscoe Parrish. And it just gets in. 57-yard punt, 37 net on the touchback. And the Bills go back on offense with a 1-point lead.
Welcome to the wonderful world of Extreme. Today we learn the fresh secrets of the Extreme Pita. We start with a freshly baked pita bread, grilled seasoned meat, no oil used, and the fresh toppings and savory sauces of your choice. Now you're on a roll or a flat baked. Look at all those delicious flavors. What could be more extreme? Ah, the happy ending. Extreme Pita, fresh to the extreme.
Sure, okay.
You've never seen anything like it. The new full Fido plan. 1,000 weekday minutes, 1,000 evening and weekend minutes, and unlimited mobile browsing. Just $20 a month for the first 3 months, but only for a limited time.
So I guess I'll see you later.
Taste the one that's forever young. Diet Pepsi. Oh! Taste the one that's forever young. Diet Pepsi.
Saturday.
I've been diagnosed with cancer. Tough crowd.
He's dying for a laugh.
I love this guy.
Follow one man's comedic crusade against cancer.
Life's not on hold. Actually, death's on hold.
Watch That's My Time, Saturday at 7 on CTV.
With Dan Fouts, this is Don Criqui back at Ralph Wilson Stadium. Shane Leckler booming the ball today. No return yards. And see what Higgins has done in his returns for the Raiders. But the Bills will lead the game, capitalizing on a turnover. Handoff, Fred Jackson. He works his way out to the 30-yard line and is going to be right about the line he needs for a 10-yard gain and a first down. Jay Richardson finally gets him down 98 for the Raiders.
So when you play against a defense that has great speed and quickness, you want to use misdirection. This is a counter play and a heads-up call by Turk Schonert. Big play on first down to pick up the first down for the Bills, but misdirection really caught the Raiders off guard.
They've really limited Edwards, just 4 of 9 completions for 40 yards for the Bills.
And none to any wide receiver.
That's right, he has not hit a wide receiver. Here's a penalty marker on the snap. Fred Jackson gets close to the 35-yard line, and now we have a little extracurricular.
Yeah, Josh Reed and Jabril Wilson getting tangled up there, but this is clearly with offsides against the Raiders.
Offside. Number 98, defense, yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Rob Ryan looking at his defensive call sheet. Richardson comes out. It's 1st and 5 for Trent Edwards. Edwards going in the 3rd round. A lot of great ones, though, have gone in the 3rd round.
There have been, huh?
Kenny Anderson of the Bengals, Joe Montana, and Dan Fouts. Is Anderson in the Hall of Fame?
He should be, and I know that he will someday. Great quarterback for the Bengals.
Here is a handoff, and wow, what a stick put on Fred Jackson by Tommy Kelly. Tommy got wealthy in the offseason, signed the biggest defensive lineman's contract, I think, in the history of the league.
Well, if he keeps making plays like this, he'll be worth it.
He hits him.
Gerard Warren as well. We talked about the 1-2 punch of the Bills with Williams and Stroud. Well, the Raiders with Kelly and Warren showing they can get it done in the middle as well.
Turk Schonert, the offensive coordinator for the Bills, talks about short drops and quick passes. And he's really got to do that against this Raider defense. 2nd down and a long 5. Keep it in front of him, huh?
Well, the Raiders playing zone that time. That was the best pass of the afternoon, though, for Trent Edwards. He has really perfect mechanics, holds the ball high in the pocket, scans the field, and watch how quick this ball comes out and how the ball is thrown to the middle of the receiver's chest between the numbers, because there's defenders on both sides of the tight end royal.
Talk to people why he got drafted in the 3rd round. He'd be a high 1st rounder if he came out now. They said, well, one of the things, the Stanford Cardinal had a very bad year his senior year.
Bad offensive line, too.
He only started 7 games. He was hurt. Here is Marshawn Lynch taking it to the 41 on a 1st down carry. Kirk Morrison and Jabril Wilson on the stop. It's not too late to play free fantasy football at NFL.com/fantasy, and also enter the NFL.com Fantasy Inside Access Sweepstakes for a chance to win a trip for 2 to Super Bowl 43. Who will be there? And one thing I would predict, this Buffalo Bills team is going to win 11 games. I'd like to go on record for that right now. Long ball. Just a bit too much on it. Josh Reed running a fly pattern. D'Angelo Hall, 2-time Pro Bowlers, with him stride for stride, 23.
Jackson's number 22. This is pass protection here. Whoop, oh, up over the top goes Kirk Morrison. That gave Edwards that split second he needed to throw that pass. Great job by Fred Jackson.
Edwards got roughed up a little last week. He was sacked 3 times by Jacksonville, did lose a fumble. Another long ball. Raiders spent a lot of money on cornerbacks, and you can see why. Lee Evans was running the pattern.
Now we got a flag down on the far sidelines where Evans was running that pattern against Angelo Hall.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 23, defense, 5-yard penalty.
First down.
First down.
That's the key on 3rd down and 8. Here's the penalty against D'Angelo Hall. Evans can still fly. He slips right there. That's illegal contact. After the first move, after the receiver goes more than 5 yards down the field, there can be no contact.
At Lee Evans' point, he wanted to be sure the back judge saw it.
You don't want to run into the official after he catches you for an illegal play like that.
Only guy that gets run into is the umpire. The guy stands in there behind the linebackers. What a tough job that is. You've seen a few of those guys help out.
Yeah, they're always in the way, too. You're running crossing routes, and sometimes it works to your favor, sometimes not. But they do get bounced around a lot, that's for sure.
1st and 10. Live ball. Is it a fumble? Kalimba Edwards coming hard off the edge. And the officials say it was a live ball, and the Raiders have it. So the turnover count is now even. Both quarterbacks have fumbled.
Now, Rob Ryan said Kalimba Edwards is our good pass rusher from the weak side. And again, it's that patented tomahawk chop to the ball. And just in time, because Edwards' delivery is very quick. Almost got the ball up in time. But Edwards with the turnover for the Raiders. First turnover for the Bills this afternoon.
And that also goes as a sack, and that's the 3rd time that Edwards has been sacked. Well, these Raiders coming at him hard. He knew it was going to happen when we talked to him Friday. He said they're tough, intimidating. There's going to be a lot of pressure on.
This is McFadden at the tailback spot.
McFadden, hands off. And the gain by Michael Bush is good for about 6 yards. Posluszny was on the stop from the middle backer spot.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday. I said, are we going to see any of this stuff that you used to run at Arkansas? Runner up to the Heisman 2 years in a row. He can throw, too.
I tell you, he might go out at wide receiver. He can catch, too. Arkansas, they ran him at wide receiver at times, just to get the ball in his hands. Russell again rolling right. Nice throw. Again, he slips on the hands of his fullback, and Griffith dives inside the 20. Dante Whitner upends him, but it is a 19-yard gain for the Raiders in a first down.
Yeah, the 2 top receivers today have been the 2 fullbacks. Justin Griffith gets his first catch here, and you can see wide open as the play-action fake just froze the linebacker Keith Ellison there. And that ball is taken all the way down to the 15-yard line by the big fullback, Justin Griffith.
And now where they have it marked, it's a 21-yard gain down to the 15. So the Raiders challenging now to take the lead. They led 6-0. They trail 7-6. Running hard off the left side. Mario Henderson, Robert Gallery. Chris Kelsey's on the stop. And Edwards waiting to get back on the field. Very impressive young guy. Said all these teams interviewed him. How come they drafted and he didn't get picked by them? He said, where am I going? He spent a few minutes with the Buffalo Bills at the combine. All of a sudden he's a Bill and happy to be here, he said.
Yes, he is. Much improved over his rookie year.
You know, you pointed out, Dan, his problem and how vital the right foot is for a guy that runs right most of the time. And it's about the 4th time he slipped.
And he's right-handed, so you know that's his dominant side. But check out his footwork here. Steel plate in the bottom of that shoe that time. You know, maybe he's favoring that right foot because that time he tried to cut off his left foot, the inside foot, Cooper Carlisle down. That's a bad sign for the Raiders.
The right guard.
Iron Man on DVD Tuesday.
Collect letters from Coca-Cola drinks to play online. And you could win up to $250,000. And in store, a smart car, tickets to Universal concerts, and many more great prizes instantly. Subway, think fresh, eat fresh.
Hello, I'm a Mac. And I'm a PC, here with good news for anyone who's ever been frustrated by Vista.
Oh, you're fixing the problems.
No, I'm making them easier to live with my new line of calming teas. There's Crashy Time Chamomile, just the thing to soothe the nerves after a Vista-related crash. Or if Vista's making your applications run slow, there's Pomegranate Patience. Now, mornings are raspberry restart time for me.
That's great, PC.
Also afternoon.
We should move on.
Yes, let's move on, Mac, to my line of Vista stress-relieving bath salts.
I always thought football was just a game.
All right, let's go! You ready for this? That's the way they do things down here.
But nobody tells you how to play when the rules don't matter anymore.
Hold on!
Universal Pictures presents.
There are some lines some people don't care to see crossed.
The story of the first African American.
You owe them more than just running a ball.
To win the Heisman Trophy. Starts October 10th.
.237 to play in the first half. Bills leading by 1. Raiders challenging. 3rd down and 6 for Oakland. McFadden. Tremendous play by Ashton Yabuti. Number 26. Coming in as the nickel. He upends the ball carrier, and that's going to bring out the field goal unit.
Great quickness by number 26, getting inside the block of Chaz Schillens. Schillens, a rookie out of San Diego State, a little slow getting off the ball, and that cost his team a big play on 3rd down.
So we're down now to the 2-minute warning, and the Raiders will have their field goal kicker out to try a 3rd one today.
To master the great outdoors, the pros choose Husqvarna for exceptional power, performance, and precision. Now you too can master your great outdoors with professionally proven Husqvarna. Find your servicing dealer at husqvarna.ca. Go the distance with a team lamp or design your own customized NFL team apparel. Personalized right down to the name, colors, and number. It's authentic NFL, and it's available only at NFLshop.com.
Some people will like surfing the web really fast. Some people will like downloading files really fast. Some people will like finding their way really fast. But pretty much everyone will like doing all that on their phone.
Master the great outdoors, the pros choose Husqvarna for exceptional power, performance, and precision. Now you too can master your great outdoors with professionally proven Husqvarna. Find your servicing dealer at husqvarna.ca.
It's finals week. Witness the intensity.
Go big or go home.
The emotion.
Je ne suis pas content.
The drama. As these 200 dancers battle it out for a spot in our top 20, the cuts will be brutal.
We asked you to dance for your life. It was more like you were dancing for a free dinner.
But the dancing will be incredible.
You're the man.
As we reveal your top 10 boys and top 10 girls.
You're in the top 20.
A new episode of So You Think You Can Dance Canada, October 1st on CTV.
With Dan Fouts, this is Don Criqui back at Western New York's Ralph Wilson Stadium. Here's a field goal try by Janikowski, a 32-yarder. It will give the Raiders back the lead if he hits it. He does. 3 for 3 for the day. He's done all the scoring for Oakland, and the Raiders are back in front 9-7 in a terrific game. We'll be back with Sebastian Janikowski's kickoff in a moment.
It's finals week. Witness the intensity.
Go big or go home.
The emotion.
Je ne suis pas content.
The drama. As these 200 dancers battle it out for a spot in our top 20, the cuts will be brutal.
We asked you to dance for your life. It was more like you were dancing for a free dinner.
But the dancing will be incredible.
You're the man.
As we reveal your top 10 boys and top 10 girls.
You're in the top 20.
A new episode of So You Think You Can Dance Canada, October 1st on CTV.
I know who I am. I've always had to work harder than the next guy. Each day I have something to prove to myself. I'm not the biggest hitter, but I'll find an edge and beat you every time. Playing with the best, that's the fun part. Winning, that's the challenge. This is what I aim for. This is my sports center.
Don't miss the show the critics call the season's best new comedy. Worst Week premieres tomorrow after 2.5 Men on CBS. We're raking the face. That would make your week worse.
Is Lane Kiffin on that show? No, he's had better weeks. Still here, his team is on top playing inspired football.
Of course, Lane Kiffin came to the Raiders from Southern California, coached under Pete Carroll, the offensive coordinator there. Southern California should be playing in the NFL. What a team.
He certainly put enough guys in the NFL.
And, of course, one of the very valued, renowned defensive coordinators, Monty Kiffin in Tampa Bay. Janikowski, now we have some precipitation in the air. The temperature seems to be dropping somewhat. California Dan Fouts picked that up, and you're right. Here is a return by Leotis McKelvin. Too good to keep off the field. Goodbye. Janikowski pushes him and gets him out of bounds. A great play by Sebastian Janikowski. #1 pick Leotis McKelvin, who the Bills said he's just too good not to have on the field, returning despite 2 other great kick returners. Busts a big one.
Really showed great patience here. Sets up the moves. Makes the guy miss right in the middle of the wedge. And how about Janikowski? One hand on the tackle after a 56-yard return. Uh-oh, I got to make a tackle right about. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. I just got him.
Moving very nicely. Not many guys catch up to Leotis McKelvin. There's Bobby April, the head special teams coach. So now the Bills on that big return get the ball at the Raider 44-yard line. Raiders leading by 2. Wind a factor now. Precipitation in the air. Trent Edwards throws up the middle, makes the connection. That is Josh Reed. Coming out of the slot, it looked like, is Jabril Wilson, another former New York Giant, signed as a free agent, makes the stop. 7-yard gain.
And after the fumble by Edwards, caused by Kalimba Edwards, Bills decide to go with maximum protection. They kept the tight end, Robert Royal, in and threw their first pass for a completion to a wide receiver here in the first half.
Marshawn Lynch trying to turn the corner. Raiders are all over it. Asamoah makes the stop along with Kalimba Edwards. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report, join JB, Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Possible upset brewing in New England, where the Dolphins were, the last report, up 14-3 on the Patriots. 3rd down for the Bills. 36-yard line of the Raiders. Bills need 2. Time a factor now. 1:08 left to play in the half. Timing throw. Out pattern. Lee Evans, who's only caught 8 this year, was averaging 22 yards a catch. Tremendous speed, but the ball was thrown low.
I wonder if that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. That's Bobby April, special teams coach, getting his field goal team out for a very long field goal try. Ball was not tipped, but he really couldn't step into it because Marshawn Lynch was cutting right in front of him. That would have been a first down. Evans had his man beat.
Ryan Lindell on the field. Talking to Ryan at practice Friday, he said his longest here is a 54-yarder. Now they fake it,
and the Bills called timeout.
Maybe they thought the Raiders would jump or something, and they saw that happen.
Now Bobby April was halfway out on the field, did not like what he saw out of his team. Frustration for Bobby April on the sidelines.
Well, Lindell said as long in this stadium, 54 yards. That would be about what a field goal here would be. But it is a swirling wind. He was originally cut by the Dallas Cowboys, Lindell.
Now the Raiders kept their defense on the field. They thought something might be up, and they were right. You can say they have their defensive personnel, and they were ready for this. Why April called timeout, not quite sure, but here comes the regular offense coming back out for the Bills. This is what happened against Seattle. The snap to Mormon, and it's the lonesome end play to Ryan Denny, who takes it in for the touchdown. Seattle was not sleepless.
And the Bills are going to go for it, it would appear, on 4th down and 2. 77,000 rise at Ralph Wilson Stadium. Here's the snap. Pitch up the middle. And Marshawn Lynch comes out of the pack, and he gets the first down to the 31-yard line. Living dangerously. Shuffle pass. Lynch, he talked about coming out of the pile and getting out of this. He did it again.
And you hear so many times that when an announcer say a running back did it on his own. This is doing it on your own. Here's the catch. Completed pass. Stone wall. Bounce outside. Great cut right there. Great cut on both feet to get vertical and pick up a huge first down for the Bills. On 4th down.
Yeah, it's passing yardage. It was a forward pass. And so now the Bills have advanced the ball to the 31-yard line of the Raiders. Raiders leading at 9-7. You see 47 seconds left to play in the first half.
And a lot of time in the National Football League. They have the one timeout that they'll save in case they need to kick a field goal, but there's a lot of they can do in that 47 seconds, especially when you're on the Raider 31-yard line.
Dan, do you pre-call plays? You ever put 2 in a row up?
Absolutely. Or nowadays teams are so good at calling plays at the line of scrimmage that is preferred over calling 2 plays in the previous huddle. Gives the quarterback a chance to read the defense, call the right play.
Edwards spreads the field. Lynch the lone back. Timing throw on target. Ball's on the field. Raiders have it, and it's live, and the official rules it is a second Bills fumble.
Nnamdi Asomugha popped the ball loose from Lee Evans as Evans was trying to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Heads up play by Asomugha.
Jabril Wilson is the guy who comes on and grabs the fumble. Boy, he got his hand right on it.
Right on it, and he was also going to make the tackle if the ball doesn't come out. This is why Rob Ryan says this is the best corner in the National Football League.
A huge play for the Raiders defense as the Bills were in position to take the lead before halftime, take it back. Asomugha also played at Cal Berkeley.
A lot of Cal Berkeley and Stanford Cardinals in this ball game, huh?
There are. Like the big game. And off. Nothing happening there. McFadden runs right into Posluszny. So the game clock now ticking down to 30 seconds to play in the first half and running. And the Raiders on 3 Sebastian Janikowski field goals in position to go to halftime with a 9-7 lead.
How impressive is it for number 51, Paul Posluszny, making that tackle with his left arm, the arm he broke in 2 places last year. He's got 2 plates and 16 pins in his left arm, still making tackles like that.
And you asked him, are they taking him out? He said, no, we're going to leave him in. Well, that is the end of the first half. The Raiders defense rising up, leading the turnover count 2-1. And the Raiders leading the game 9-7 on the Janikowski field goals. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Meet Bob Kearns, inventor of the intermittent windshield wiper.
It's such a simple idea. Where did you do your research?
My basement. A man with a unique invention.
Maybe this is the one.
Ford is very interested. Why? Ford, wow. They want it.
A company who would do anything to get it.
We're going to need a working unit from you.
Okay. They want out, Bob.
Who wants out?
Ford.
Out. They have the unit. They looked at my work.
An American dream.
That is my design.
He would not.
They took this from us.
Flash of Genius is a remarkable and inspiring true story.
Ford does not know the meaning of years or money. This is about right and wrong, and you know it.
About a man with unbelievable grit, determination, and heart.
Ford wants to offer your family $30 million.
Do they admit it was my invention?
No.
Don't do it, Dad.
You'll be rooting for him all the way.
It's just a windshield wiper.
To you, maybe. But to me, it's the Mona Lisa.
Flash of Genius starts October 3rd.
To make your walls rock, just roll on new Beauty Tone Flex Rock. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Use Flex Rock on drywall or painted surfaces. There's no priming necessary. Create the look of marble, old world plaster, suede, and more. Flex Rock hides imperfections, comes in 36 designer colors, and it's incredibly tough. Pick up easy-to-use Beauty Tone Flex Rock. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center.
Help is close to home.
I know who I am. I've always had to work harder than the next guy. Each day I have something to prove to myself. I'm not the biggest hitter, but I'll find an edge and beat you every time. Playing with the best, that's the fun part. Winning, that's the challenge. This is what I aim for. This is my Sports Center.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Get the new NFL Mobile Live, only from Sprint, only on the Now Network.
And welcome back to our New York studios and the Sprint Halftime Report. I'm James Brown, along with my guys, Dan, Shannon. Make that Bill, then Shannon, then boom. Yes, indeed. You know what? The score at halftime. You know what your score is at halftime. Let's talk about the games. But Cincy and New York.
How about it? There's a tight end sighting in New York, and it's Kevin Boss. Look at these hands, guys. Doing his best imitation of the great Shannon Sharp right there, catching and pulling in. Leads to a touchdown run by Brandon Jacobs going right over the top. Some question as to whether or not that ball had broken the plane, but back comes Chris Perry. You know, and Dan Dierdorf has been saying it, guys. The Bengals are playing like a desperate team that's been embarrassed the last 2 weeks. Carson Palmer's playing gate. I got to tell you something, though. Memo to the New York Giants and to Tom Coughlin. You were aggressive last week against St. Louis. You have to be aggressive against this team. Virtually no pass rush. They cannot cover the wide receivers of the Giants down the field one-on-one. They just can't do it. So expect a lot of passes in the second half by Eli Manning.
All right, let's continue on then. Palmer, by the way, was sacked 4 times by the New York Giants. Dolphins, damn!
And Matt Castle gets sacked 3 times by the Dolphins, twice by Joey Porter in the first half. And look at how lines up. Direct snap, fakes to Ricky Williams. Wide open hole there for his first touchdown. Then he runs to the left, runs over a couple people, big hole. Then his second touchdown by Ronnie Brown. And then direct snap again, fakes to Ricky Williams. 3 touchdowns in the first half by Ronnie Brown. Nice goal line package there by the Miami Dolphins with Ricky Williams and Ronnie Brown in the game at the same time.
Solomon Wilcott said during the pregame that Ronnie Brown would get the start. Boy, has he made big stuff off of that one. All right, Oakland and the Bills up next. Coach!
You look at Oakland right here, JB. I mean, this is DeMarcus Russell going to find Ashley to the lead for a 23-yard gain. And he's going to go back here. He's going to get stripped by Chris Kelsey. Paul Posluszny, he's going to recover the ball to 23. And watch this nifty run by Marshawn Lynch as he tap-toes the sideline. He's going to put the ball in. They're going to get 3 field goals. It's 9-7 on 3 Janikowski field goals right now at Oakland. We're heading east and doing well.
The Redskins jump out early. Clinton Porter 3 yards. Jason Campbell was 6 for 6 on that drive.
Jason Campbell's back to pass. Carlos Dansby say, I'm not going to let you get it off. Sack. They would punt the football. And right before the half, Kurt Warner and Quan Bowden, 4-yard TD reception, 10-7 at the half, Redskins up.
Skins have won 8 of the last 9 meetings there. Texans and the Titans,
And
Dan.
Tennessee, a physical football team. Lendell White right up the middle. Nice hole. He goes in for a 2-yard touchdown. Kerry Collins, a little fake underneath to Bo Scaife. Look at this. Make a move. Give him the leg. Get in the end zone. Putting them up 14-6. And Steve Slayton, this is his first career touchdown by the young man. And Tennessee up 21-12.
Titans have won 6 straight against Houston. Chiefs, oh my goodness, boy.
Oh, it's hitting rock bottom, and Atlanta's going to come out with Michael Turner, who's going to score his 4th touchdown of the season, his 2nd already in the first half. And Matt Ryan's going to throw this pretty ball right down here.
Yeah, look at that.
Roddy White, right over the safety, catch it in stride. But I'll tell you, the story of the half has been the ineptness right now of Kansas City. You're going to see Tyler Thigpen is 4 of 18, 31 yards and 2 interceptions. Before he's going to come back with a late touchdown toss. Right now, it's Atlanta, all Atlanta, 24-7.
Shannon, where's Len Dawson?
He's inactive.
Oh, boy, okay. Panthers right. Hey, there's Gus Frerotte, starting quarterback for the Vikings. He's going to throw it to Bernard Berrian off his hands. Chris Campbell's going to pick this off. This is going to lead to a Panther field goal. They're going to go up 3-0. There's Tavares Jackson on the sideline. You know, Coach, I could have done that. Come on, please. Jonathan Stewart, he's going to take it in. Panthers totally in control of this game, 10-0, beating everybody up. And then all of a sudden, Jake Delhomme, you got to see the blitz. You got to see that. Antoine Winfield, sacks, forced the fumble, going in for a touchdown. And guess what? The one is blowing in Minnesota, I'm telling you right now. Danny, that's your boy over there. Bucks and Bears.
Brian Griese on 3rd and goal. Ike here, vote for Ike. Vote for Ike. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Kyle Lorton, watch bad run on Matt Forte. Takes it out of his hand. Great pick. Kyle Lorton. Gaines Adams is not your teammate. You played for the ball. Now get in the end zone, son. Look at the ref. Get out of the way, ref. Boom, boom. He's in the way, but he's going to throw his hand up because it's a touchdown. Oh, he got knocked over. Touchdown, Gaines Adams, 14-9, Tampa.
New England trailing 21-6. My goodness, Coach, what's going on?
I'll tell you what, JB, Dan, you talked about it right now. New England is not playing with any swagger. I look at them on defense. They're not coming up. They're not hitting people. And about the offense, and Charlie Castle mentioned in the pregame, you know, Matt Castle is still a young quarterback, holds the ball for a long time. There's no spunk in that football team right now. We saw it in week 1. We saw a little bit in week 2. And I'm telling you right now, Miami is playing with a lot of confidence. New England does not have that same little firepower or swagger that they once had.
If Miami can take away the smoke screens, that's all New England has. Take away the smoke screens, and Miami's going to win this game.
Danny?
Yeah. I was going to be interested to see if Castle can come back in the second half.
All right, second half coming your way right after this.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. Get the new NFL Mobile Live, only from Sprint, only on the Now Network.
A personal crisis.
I feel like I don't deserve to be here. I feel very out of control.
An ongoing feud.
He's a total head case. Suck it up, do your job.
And a reluctant witness.
Nurse! He tore a long path of destruction through the city.
It's a rough ride for the new assistant DA.
It's great to finally be out in the trenches. Mind if I stay?
Actually, I do.
A new season of Law and Order SVU starts Tuesday at a special time, 8/7 Central on CTV.
The limited edition blue PSP system, bringing NFL fans together. At least until they're gone. The Madden NFL 09 Entertainment Pack, rated E for everyone.
A new era in sports television. Canada's sports leader brings you more of what you want when you want it. More of your favorite events from the world of sports. Now, you have a choice, and you won't miss a thing. Live coverage and primetime replays of the day's best. For more information, contact your local television provider or visit tsn2.ca. TSN2. More games, more sports, more coverage.
And Marshawn Lynch went on a 14-yard run. The extra point gave the Bills the lead, but Janikowski has accounted for all the Raider points on 3 field goals And a crucial late fumble, the ball knocked away by Asamoah, recovered by Jabril Wilson, and now it is the Raiders leading the Bills 9-7. The NFL on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
Tests prove that with the Shell Gold Air Miles MasterCard from BMO, you earn Air Miles reward miles on every purchase and double Air Miles at Shell. Sign up now. For the first 3 months, you receive 5 times Air Miles for every $15 you spend at Shell. Wow! Tests prove that no matter what you buy, the Shell Premium Cashback MasterCard from BMO gives you 1% cash back on every purchase and 3% cash back at Shell. Sign up now and for the first 3 months receive 10% cash back at Shell. It can really add up.
For great selection and great savings, come to the Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical Sale at Home Hardware. Save $30 on a Moen Quinn High Arc faucet. Save $50 on a Honeywell programmable thermostat. Save 40% on a Can-Arm ceiling fan. Earn Aeroplan miles. Use your home card and make 12 equal payments with absolutely no fees. The Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical Sale. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center.
Help is close to home.
Oh my God.
Buckle up. It was an SUV that exploded. TV's biggest suspense thriller. That's my boss down there. Is back.
I've got an officer down!
And it's gonna be a killer ride.
I'm on the move!
The city's about to get hit. Criminal Minds new season starts Wednesday at 9/8 Central on CTV. It's finals week. Witness the intensity.
Go big or go home.
The emotion.
Je ne suis pas content.
The drama. As these 200 dancers battle it out for a spot in our top 20, the cuts will be brutal.
We asked you to dance for your life. It was more like you were dancing for a free dinner.
But the dancing will be incredible.
You're the man.
As we reveal your top 10 boys and top 10 girls.
You're in the top 20.
A new episode of So You Think You Can Dance Canada, October 1st on CTV.
Welcome back to Western New York. Weather changing for the worse as the Raiders lead the Bills 7. Don Criqui with Dan Fouts. First half Raider defense really keyed this lead. Sacked Trent Edwards 3 times. They forced 2 turnovers. And field goals are enough to keep them in the lead, Dan.
Well, that second turnover where Asamoah took the ball away from Lee Evans when the Bills were in field goal position at the end of the first half. A huge play there. Both teams' defenses have been outstanding, especially on third downs. Both teams struggling on offense. The turnover's the key, but the Raiders not able to take advantage of the short field. All 4 scoring plays were short field plays where the teams had great field position, did not take advantage, especially Oakland.
All right, and a reminder, this game is brought to you in high definition here on CBS. Raiders kick off. You'll remember the Bills won the toss and deferred to the second half. Here is Leotis McKelvin, the rookie. Raiders with good special teams work are all over it. And so Trent Edwards and the Bills offense down by 2 points have the long field to go again. Most of the first half, they started deep in their own end, and then they got the turnover, the fumble by Jamarcus Russell. And soon after, they had a 14-yard touchdown run, the only touchdown of the day, scored by Marshawn Lynch. They led briefly 7-6.
Raider cornerbacks have been outstanding, allowing just 2 pass receptions to Buffalo wide receivers. And of course, the play by that man at the end of the first half was crucial.
Right now, see what Trent Edwards does. He was limited in the first half by this rush. 8 of 15 for 59 yards, sacked 3 times. Going right up top, looking downfield. Good strike, first down. Lee Evans is on the run. Crosses midfield and goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So the way this Raider defense has been playing run defense, I guess they figured, Dan, they've got to start putting it up. 34-yard gain there.
And it's a crossing route getting inside of Asamoah. And a perfect strike by Edwards. I love the play call. Last time the Bills had the ball, Lee Evans fumbled. So what do? You come right back to your playmaker, get his confidence back, and move the chains.
He's been a key part of this team for 5 years, Lee Evans. Now they go to Lynch, and Marshawn Lynch with that ability to dip in and bounce out. Gets plus yards down close to the Raider 40-yard line.
He really has great balance, his ability to bounce plays outside, inside, and how about that touchdown run when he was flipped in the air and still knew where the was to get the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, that was pretty spectacular. The only touchdown of the day. I think we're going to see more turnovers in the second half. That ball's going to be wet a lot of the time. We have intermittent light rain. Fred Jackson now in the backfield.
He's the quarterback's down here. Trent Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards is out as a wide receiver, and Jackson's going to run it from scrimmage, and very well as he gets the ball inside the 35. These Raiders hit hard. That was Ricky Brown putting a shoulder on him.
He's close to the first down too, Don. I mean, we're seeing creative play calling. This time Turk Schonert leaves Jackson as the tailback. Direct snap, little misdirection counter type of play, and it's enough to pick up a Buffalo first down.
And like, can you tap this? The Raiders were doing in the first half, and now the Bills go to an unusual formation. Turk Schonert, who was coached by Bill Walsh, got a kind of a Stanford quarterback connection here. Bill Walsh to Schonert, and now Trent Edwards starting for the Bills. He's putting it up again. Here comes the rush. Does a good job getting it to the feet of an antenna receiver, Derek Schumann. Coming hard up the middle was Tommy Kelly.
Yeah, this is heads up by Edwards around the backside and right up the middle. That's a tough combination there. We got Derek Burgess and Tommy Kelly creating some havoc for the young quarterback.
Bills with Melvin Fowler at center. Eric Dockery and Brad Butler with the guards. Jason Peters and Langston Walker, the tackles. A very expensive, good type of front line on front of Trent Edwards. Raiders have been busting through it, though. Fred Jackson from Little Coe College. He went the hard way to the NFL. Played just about every league there was to get here.
Watch Jackson. Again, they're just going to start running straight at this Raider defense. Instead of trying to go wide, get a big man on a big man right up front there and show their power. Jackson went off the field holding his shoulder.
He's over there with Bud Carpenter, the lead trainer for the Bills. Now Trent Edwards on a third down coming up. 3rd and 3 from the shotgun. A handoff. Marshawn Lynch. Real good defensive play by middle backer Kirk Morrison of the Raiders. Morrison and Howard between them last year had 215 tackles and 10 interceptions.
Very smart players. I played against Thomas Howard's daddy when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. I asked young Thomas who was better. He said, "Are you kidding me? I am."
Well, he's been good. So was his father. Here's Ryan Lindell now to try a kick into a swirling wind. This will be a 46-yard ball. He has a big leg. Got plenty into it. And he is wide and no good. And so the Raiders hold, and they take over the ball, still holding to their 9-7 lead. Snap, hold, all good, but the kick is offline.
Sure. Okay.
You've never seen anything like it. The new full Fido plan. 1,000 weekday minutes, 1,000 evening and weekend minutes, and unlimited mobile browsing. Just $20 a month for the first 3 months, but only for a limited time.
Hello, I'm a Mac. And I'm a PC.
What is this?
Well, you know, Vista's something of a hassle, but switching computers is an even bigger hassle. So even though you might have a better operating system, I'm not worried about losing any of my subjects to you. I'm still the king.
Well, actually, all your subjects have to do is bring their PC into an Apple store when they get a new Mac, and then Mac Genius will just transfer their files over for free.
Really?
Yeah, it makes switching kind of easy.
I banish you. You are banished.
Harvey's ongoing search to make Canada's best-tasting burger even tastier led us to Brandon in Ottawa.
Hey, what about adding Canadian back bacon?
You're a genius, Brendan. Canadian back bacon with...
let's go with mustard, tomatoes, and pickles.
Anything for the man who helped make Canada's best-tasting burger even tastier. At Harvey's, there's a burger with your name on it.
Harvey's makes your hamburger a beautiful thing.
Wendy's Friday Night Football.
That is the record breaker.
The Bombers are on a late charge for the playoffs as the Eskies come to town. Blue Bombers, Eskimos. Friday at 7:30. Wendy's CFL on TSN.
Lane Kiffin, youngest head coach in the NFL. Raiders have missed the playoffs the last 5 years. Al Davis spending upwards of $220 million on the offseason on new players. Right now, the hard hit is put on by Posluszny on Michael Bush. Second down and 10 play. First down and 10 play. It'll be a second down and about 8 where they position the ball. These are limited passing yards today. Bush producing well. DeMarcus Russell's not gotten balls downfield much to his wide receivers this whole season. Had only one to a wide receiver last week, but they ran so well they didn't need a downfield throws. Michael Bush, who was out all of the 07 season recovering from a broken leg suffered at Louisville. He's also a very good receiver, Michael Bush.
Great compliment for McFadden. He's 6'1", 245, the real straight ahead thumper type of runner that still has the speed. He ran away from Kansas City last week on that 32-yard touchdown run in his first season out of Louisville and getting most of the carries this afternoon.
Yeah, McFadden seemed to be bothered by that foot. Now we have Michael Bush again. The Bills are all over Michael Bush. Coming up was Posluszny and Aaron Schobel. So on fourth down now they send out the punt unit.
Yeah, Schobel made the tackle, but Posluszny blew up the play. He's going to get in the backfield of the Raiders, take on the block of the fullback Griffith. And that'll bring out the punt team. Great play by the middle linebacker.
We asked him the difference between major college and the NFL. He says you have to decipher things quickly up here. Roscoe Parrish is back for the Bills. Here's Leckler to punt the ball for the Raiders.
Wow.
Gets into that jet stream and run it back from the goal line. And he's out to the 16-yard. Ball's coming out again before long. 57-yard punt, 17-yard return. John Kondo is on the stop.
Holding number 96 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down, Buffalo. Timeout.
So the Bills down by 2 on their home field again have the long field to go.
It all began as a bank robbery. Hostages were taken, and among them, a New York City crime scene investigator.
They're coming out.
What do you do when one moment
An NYPD investigator was forced to escort the suspect out of the city?
could make the difference?
Do it!
It was all a lie, wasn't it? Between life and death.
They just pulled a body out of the water.
CSI New York returns for a new season Wednesday at 10/9 Central on CTV.
There's a place where everything is a gift from nature. With millions of colors that light up your heart. A place where souls fall in love every day. On your next trip, discover the true meaning of romance. Mexico, where souls fall in love.
TSN2. More games, more sports, more choice.
At halftime today, a signal on it for any Buffalo Bills to go on the Bills Wall of Fame. And up there today goes Bruce Smith, the greatest defensive lineman in Bills history, maybe in anybody's history. The all-time sack leader, 200, a terrific acceptance speech. And look who joins us now in the booth, none other than Bruce Smith. Congratulations, you gave a great talk accepting.
Thanks, Thank you very much.
And you want to go up for the Hall of Fame because you're a first ballot guy like Dan Fouts was.
This is my year. The process has begun.
You'll be there in Canton, and maybe Dan will present you.
I doubt that. I mean, there's a lot of great players he played with. I'm sure they will be happy to bring him. Who will present you? Have you thought about that?
It will be between Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, who is my defensive line coach here, or Marv Leader.
Yeah, the Raiders backed up the Bills with that punt, Don, and they took over possession on like the 1-inch line where Parrish received that punt.
Yeah, the nose of the ball was almost touching the goal line. This Raider team, Bruce Smith, a very aggressive, tough group today.
Yes, they are. They're a very talented ball club. Actually, a fellow Hokie is down there by the name of D'Angelo Hall and a couple other guys that I know that plays for the Raiders on the defensive side of the ball. But they're very talented.
The Virginia Tech Hokies, this is a dangerous area now. This is that defense can be coming hard. Second down. A throw.
An interception.
And an interception it is. It's picked off, taken away. Tremendous defensive play as D'Angelo Hall comes up with the ball. And so a third Bills turnover now looms very large, possibly in the outcome of this game. Let's see what the officials are still. The other ruling is definitely an interception, a fight for the ball.
Lee Evans is saying that it was a simultaneous catch when they hit the ground. The ball should be the Buffalo Bills possession.
Absolutely.
The officials ruled, though, that Hall came over, rips the ball loose there, but they're both on the ground. The ball should be dead. And it should be Buffalo ball right there.
Vic Giron, he's got the red flag out. He'll go to the truth machine, the tape recorder. And look at this again.
Yeah, you mentioned your Virginia Tech Hokie, and just on cue, D'Angelo Hall makes a great play. Whether it'll stand or not, it's another thing. But what do you got, a little ESP happening?
Well, we Hokies, we stick together. But you know, it's interesting about this game. The one thing about this game you learn very quickly, they say the eye in the sky doesn't lie. So
Yeah.
we'll find out whose ball it really is.
I'm not even sure they're going to review this one. Let's hear.
Buffalo is challenging the ruling on the field that the receiver caught the ball and was down by contact. We'll review the play.
Wow, this is a critical review. So while they go to the review, we'll take this break and come back to Ralph Wilson Stadium.
Can you afford to take a gamble on Stefan Dion? Because you always pay more with Dion.
Very seriously, a carbon tax.
Can you afford higher gas prices? You'll pay more with Dion. Can you afford higher electricity rates and higher grocery bills? You'll pay more with Dion. Can you afford higher everything?
We'll increase the tax.
You've got too much at stake. Don't risk it all on Stefan Dion.
On your wedding day, it's all about the bride. Her dress, her flowers, her hair. But when everyone is looking at her, she will be looking at you. So rent your tuxedo at Moore's and you'll look almost as good as she does. Moore's. Well made, well priced, well dressed.
Oh, no. Didn't get you, did he?
What?
'Cause those things, it's over. Hey, you know what? I've got a buddy with a skunk farm down the road. He'll know what to do. I could shoot you over there in the 2009 Suzuki Grand Vitara. New fuel-efficient 4-cylinder engine, 3,000-pound towing capacity. Come on. Oh, it's a little tricky to find. I'll navigate. You drive.
We think you should test drive a new Suzuki Grand Vitara, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you to do it.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by the new album from Mariah Carey, E=MC². Available now.
Instant replay review. We just got a clarification. The ball was placed on the almost on the goal line because it was from the spot of the holding call against the Bills on the return. That was the 2-yard line, so they moved it back just outside the goal line. And now what's being used is, did D'Angelo Hall come up with an interception here? I see. Oh, that's in the hands of Lee Evans. He hits the ground and then is taken. I think this might be overturned. What do you think, Bruce Smith?
I think you're correct.
Is that because you're a Bill fan, or
because I'm a Bill fan?
Bruce, we're just going up in the Wall of Fame. Steve Task going up last year, the 25th Bill. It's interesting, your career. You came in as the #1 pick in league, but you weighed about 300, and you really did your best work, probably, what, 265?
I certainly did. I quickly realized that at that weight, I wasn't going to become the player that I wanted to become. And I didn't have the endurance to play four full quarters, as well as going to overtime if need be.
Well, you kept yourself in phenomenal shape. You used to get on that
Stairmaster.
Man, a lot. You'd wear that out.
Yeah.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Oh, Raiders keep the ball.
Control of the ball prior to the defender catching it. Oakland retains possession. First down. Buffalo will be charged with their first timeout.
So the review upholds the call on the field, and the Raiders keep the ball.
Now that's two of us that were wrong on that one, Bruce. I thought that a simultaneous catch
goes to the receiver,
and then down on the field by contact should go to the offense.
I thought it would be overturned.
But Carl Cheffers had a different explanation, and now he's giving it firsthand to Dick Duran.
Now we'll see if the Raiders can get something more than a field goal. That's all they have so far today. They've had some great field position forced by this terrific defense. So Lee Evans had the ball and knocked away, and D'Angelo Hall is credited with the interception. 1st and 10. The Bills crowd really kicks in. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. McFadden down to about the 7-yard line. He got at least 5. See where they spot the ball.
Raiders have had great success running left, and I know, Bruce, that was the side that you played on defensively, the right defensive end. What do you see that the Raiders are doing there? Is Schobel playing too wide?
Well, I just think that they're overpowering our defensive line right now. They're creating some seams, and the running backs are able to get through there.
2nd and 4, and McFadden's to the goal line. Is he in? No touchdown signal yet, but if he's not in, he's inches away.
You talk about overing that left side of the Raider offensive line. Robert Gallery playing left guard, and you've got Mario Henderson, and then you bring the big fullback in there, Justin Griffith. How about that determination by McFadden? That is as close to a touchdown as you could possibly get.
First and goal. Head down, big Jamarcus Russell at 6'6", 260, takes it himself. And the Raiders build a 15-7 lead with the extra point coming up. So this presents a lot of problems, Dan Fouts and Bruce Smith, for the young quarterback of the Bills, Trent Edwards, because he's not been able to sustain drives against this tough Raider defense.
Turnovers have absolutely killed the Bills, haven't they?
Turnovers will lose the ball game quicker than any other play on the line in the ball game.
Here is Janikowski with the extra point, going for his 10th point of the day to go with his 3 field goals. And the Raiders on the road, and probably a major underdog, standing tall and leading 16-7. 7:30 to play in the third quarter.
I got one!
The limited edition blue PSP system, bringing NFL fans together. At least until they're gone. The Madden NFL 09 Entertainment Pack, rated E for everyone. PSP.
Nobody's going to have a better price. Doesn't hurt to look. Don't say it, don't say it.
Nobody had a better price.
You said it.
Lowe's believes you'll get the best price around with our everyday low price guarantee.
We'll take it.
Find a better price on anything we sell, and we'll match it plus take an additional 10% off.
Maybe we should shop around. Trust me, just buy it.
Lowe's, Canada's new home improvement warehouse. So get the best price around with our everyday low price guarantee.
And our thanks to Bruce Smith, the Buffalo great, going up on the Bills Wall of Fame today and soon probably to go into the Hall of Fame next summer. There's Jamarcus Russell, took it himself, the big guy from LSU. A lot of power at 6'6", 260 pounds. So now the Raiders have built a 16-7 lead. And this Raider team looks like the Raiders of old, like the playoff Raiders, where they're playing defense. Kickoff down to McKelvin through his legs. He's got a big problem. Here come the Raider tacklers. And McKelvin, as they go at, boy, these Raiders are inspired today.
Well, they're rallying around their coach. They're rallying around their teammates. And I think a lot of the talk about the Bills going to the playoffs and all this and that we've talked about, and what a good start the Bills were off to, and the Raiders a little bit disheveled in their first game against the Broncos. Played well last week and are certainly finally taking advantage of the turnovers here and creating things. Al Davis looking on from the end zone. He's got to be happy, doesn't he?
He does. He never shows it, but he's got to be very pleased with the effort of this Raider team. They look terrific on the road, coming 3,000 miles east and holding to a 16-7 lead. Now Trent Edwards has to start throwing the ball. He's going to go to the run here. Marshawn Lynch, a hard-working man, works his blockers and the sideline. Thomas Howard gets him out of bounds on a well-executed run play by the Bills. Edwards, a 9 of 18, Dan, for 93 yards.
He came in completing 70% of his passes, but throwing against the Raiders secondary where they play so much man-to-man, you're not going to throw for a high percentage. You're going to hope to get a couple of big pass plays. The only big one he's had so far was the completion to Evans to start the second half.
First down on the run, ball at the 22-yard line. Again, they go to Lynch. A tough man, big Turdell Sands, a 335-pound defensive tackle. Number 90 was the guy that threw him back. Rob Ryan calling the defenses. Nobody wants to have their lips read in this league.
For many reasons. Not only.
Has anybody ever read anybody's lips from the other team? I mean, they're all hiding it. But
you never know if they're watching TV too sometimes.
2nd and 8. And Edwards gets out of the tackle box. Josh Reed would look like he might be a little open, but Derek Burgess coming hard, a two-time Pro Bowl defensive end. Derek Burgess healthy now. 2 years ago, he had 16 sacks. Last year, he had only 8 because of injuries.
See, this is just good coverage in the secondary. His primary receiver is covered, feels the pressure, has to get out of the pocket. But if it wasn't for that good coverage in the secondary by D'Angelo Hall and Nnamdi Asamoah, Edwards would be having a better day.
Big down here, 3rd down and 8. Edwards lets it go long. Lee Evans is out there. He catches the ball, and he was also fouled by D'Angelo Hall. There's a penalty marker that comes in. Is it against the offense? It is.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Evans needed to push off. The ball was underthrown. He clearly pushed off on D'Angelo Hall, and he draws the flag.
Pass interference, number 83, offense. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Take a look at the end of this play. Good pass protection this time for Edwards, and he throws a fine ball here. A little bit underthrown, but there's the push with the left hand. And you can see he didn't need to do that because Hall had not looked for the ball. Hall had no idea where the ball was.
And that then negates a 38-yard reception. And so the ball is set at the 14-yard line of the Bills. Raiders leading 16-7.
Mistakes are really piling up on Buffalo now.
Yeah, they've not covered themselves with glory in a lot of plays today. A lot of mistakes, and the Raiders are forcing those mistakes. Marshawn Lynch kept underneath by the defense, and the Bills will have to punt again from deep in their own end. Jabril Wilson and Stanford Rout combine on the stop.
Yeah, we've got all these players from Stanford and coaches, and we've even got a defensive back, Stanford.
That's right. Stanford Routes from Houston now, University of Houston. Here is Moorman ready to punt. Johnny Lee Higgins, who opened the game, you may recall, with a 68-yard kickoff return, and the Raiders soon after had a 3-0 lead. Moorman boots the ball into the mist. Higgins from his 38. Set up a return left. And a terrific open field tackle by the Bills stops him. Brian Scott, 43, makes the stop. And the Raiders have the ball and the lead when we come back.
On your wedding day, it's all about the bride. Her dress, her flowers, her hair. But when everyone is looking at her, she will be looking at you. So rent your tuxedo at Moore's, and you'll look almost as good as she does. Moore's, well made, well priced, well dressed.
Wow. So you've got a flat screen?
Yeah, got it yesterday.
You getting HD?
Yep, got it hooked up today.
Today? Really? That's fast. Who installed it? A gazelle?
A what?
A gazelle, you know? Small antelope known for its speed. Lives in Africa.
I don't know why I let you in my house.
Order before 3 p.m. and get your Bell services hooked up as early as tomorrow.
All right, international shipping. Well, that means a lot of documents, waybills, and commercial invoices in triplicates. But if you go online with UPS, you can make that paperwork go away, making the process faster and easier to manage. Not to mention, you're saving a few trees. It's not just international shipping, it's paperless international shipping. Only from UPS. There. Now you're done.
Trent Edwards, Bills quarterback, on the sideline. He's been stymied today by this Raider defense, and now the Raiders with a 16-7 lead have Darren McFadden back in as the I-back. Play fake. Jamarcus Russell with the long-range arm swings it to McFadden. And there's a hard hit put out, helmet to helmet. Keith Ellison was the lead tackler. Wednesday on Showtime, join JB, Phil Simms, Warren Sapp, and Chris Collinsworth for all the best insights, analysis, and highlights from around the league on Inside the NFL.
This looks like Keith Ellison down after that hard hit on Darren McFadden after the short pass. Ellison's not your biggest linebacker, only about 225 pounds, 6 foot tall. Very dependable, though, very steady player.
He put on a hard helmet shot, number 56. Keith Ellison, a third-year linebacker from Oregon State. He caught the knee of McFadden.
And then he got hit by friendly fire. Ryan Denny came over. Number 92 is going to hit him in the helmet. Watch 92 from the backside there. And that bent Ellison's head back.
Good to see Keith Ellison up and coming off the field. So he's going to be all right. And looks like he might play again today. But when play resumes, the Raiders with a 16-7 lead have a second down coming up. And 2nd and 3, the ball position on the 46-yard line. Raiders led at the half 9-7. Raiders, after giving up 41 points in the opening game there at home, have really stood up on defense, shut down Kansas City. They scored 8 points last week. Bills only 7 today. McFadden, who protects that ball, running hard, and it looks like he does have the first down as he runs it to midfield before Posluszny gets him.
And you notice the Raiders have really kind of changed their running attack when McFadden's in the game. They're not giving him so many plays where he has to make drastic cuts. Just running straight at this Bill defense now, where he can just use his speed and power, bouncing off linebackers there and protecting the ball.
1st and 10 for the Raiders. Bills get a group of tacklers on Michael Bush and take him down at the midfield stripe. Still no gain on that play. 2nd down and 10. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Good balance here for the Raider running backs. Bush, of course, with a few more yards on a fewer carries, but the two of them really throughout the year will present a great running attack. The lightning quick McFadden with great speed and the power of Michael Bush.
Back run, Bills all over it. Aaron Schobel, the lead tackler. Turnovers huge in this game. The Raiders have turned the ball over just once. The Bills have turned it over 3 times.
That was Justin Griffith with that carry. And we got Justin Griffith, who's a just-in-case guy. Just in case McFadden and Bush can't go, and with Justin Fargas out, well, you get the picture, don't you?
Yeah, well, Griffith is also a good pass catcher, as you know, Dan. He's caught 5 already this season. 3rd down. Raiders need 9. Bills play the run well. They go to Michael Bush, so they'll play field position with the Raiders. Posluszny, the lead tackler.
Yeah, they're real happy with the way they're playing defense right now. The Raiders like playing the field position game, not wanting to throw into that too deep defense that the Bills were presenting, going with a very conservative call and bringing out the best punter in the game, Shane Leckler, and a dangerous returner for the Bills, Roscoe Parrish.
Roscoe Parrish, Bills needing good field position. The Raiders have really pinned him back. Great punter, Shane Leckler on the field. End over end punt. Directional punt. Perfectly done. Look at that. Unbelievable. Masterful punting by Shane Leckler. A 44-yard punt, all net yardage, and he pins the Bills back inside their 5-yard line. TV's #1 comedy returns with a shocking twist you've got to see to believe. Two and a Half Men, the season premiere tomorrow at 9, 8 Central on CBS.
That really was a remarkable punt by Shane Leckler. It looked like he was trying to kick the ball out of bounds. Watch him point to his left side of the field here. The ball is definitely going to go out of bounds, but he helicoptered the ball end over end, as you said, Don. And look at the bounce he got. That's a 12-yard bounce there inside the 5-yard line. That's why he's the best.
Yep, a master at work. Leckler, 5 punts today, 3 have ended up inside the Bills' 20. From his end zone, Edwards takes time, and he starts to run. Gets out to about the 8-yard line. He got about 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Thomas Howard ran him down.
Well, he got up a little gingerly, too, after Howard takes him down with authority. You're not going to run away from Thomas Howard.
Those defenders love to see a quarterback running.
Yeah, I remember.
Open season.
A few times.
2nd and 5 is the official yardage. Lynch. Nothing happening. Right side of that Raider defense. Boy, they're feeling it, these Raiders.
Fred Wakefield on the stop. No gain on the play, 3rd and 5.
This is turning it around in a hurry. And in talking to Kirk Morrison and to Thomas Howard yesterday, they said that they went to Rob Ryan. They said, Coach, just let us play. Let us be aggressive. We don't want to have to be perfect on every defense. We want to turn it loose, and they have turned it loose the last 2 weeks.
3rd and 5 now. Trent Edwards in the shotgun. Here come the Raiders with a 4-man rush. Edwards in deep trouble. Dumps it off. Marshawn Lynch working his way, fighting his way, and he gets a 1st down to the 15-yard line.
Boy, if this doesn't tell you what this kid's all about, I don't know what will. The big smile after the play. I mean, he catches this ball, he's about 7 or 8 yards away from the down marker. At the 5-yard line, makes 1 miss and picks up 10 yards.
Another of those plays, Dan, where he did it himself. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Raiders 16, the Bills 7. We'll return after this message and a word from your local station.
Whatever you do, don't look back. What? Actually, maybe you should look back.
It's good to know what's behind you. Introducing the new Toyota Highlander crossover with an independent backup camera system. It's good to be here.
On your wedding day, it's all about the bride. Her dress, her flowers, her hair. But when everyone is looking at her, she will be looking at you. So rent your tuxedo at Moore's, and you'll look almost as good as she does. Moore's, well made, well priced, well dressed.
The limited edition blue PSP system, bringing NFL fans together. At least until they're gone. The Madden NFL 09 Entertainment Pack, rated E for everyone.
PSP. They always take the armoire, never take the moose.
Or the fish. It's good to take home found treasures. Introducing the new Toyota Highlander crossover. With flat folding seats, it's good to be here.
Back to Ralph Wilson Stadium. The precipitation has stopped. Don Criqui with Dan Fouts. Raiders dig in with that strong defense. Bills are down 16-7. Trent Edwards backpedaling. Makes a connection out to about the 19-yard line. All there is, Dan, is Robert Royal, the tight end, is underneath stuff against this Raider defense.
Well, they're having no success at all getting the ball outside to their wide receivers. And against that zone coverage that time, that was a smart read by Trent Edwards. Not to force the ball and just get it to his open receiver, his tight end. Take what they give you is what you're told time after time.
Brings up a 2nd down and 5 play. Marshawn Lynch works it out across the 35-yard line out to the 37.
I remember early in the game, Don, when Lynch threw the ball to, caught the ball from Edwards. The ball was thrown too hard and off target a little bit. This time, watch Edwards after the play fake. This ball is going to be put right in the chest of Marshawn Lynch so he can catch the ball without thinking about the guys around him, make a couple of guys miss, and pick up a huge first down. Better throw that time by Trent Edwards. 16 big yards.
Fred Jackson's now on the field as the I-back. Behind the fullback, Darian Barnes. Fred Jackson, he gets plus yards, works it out to the 40-yard line. Strange things are happening in Foxborough. Back to James Brown.
Don, for sure, I don't know if Dan could ever think back to this happening because it hasn't. Ronnie Brown, 3rd direct snap, Dan Fouts, and guess what he does? He takes it 62 yards of pay dirt, 4 rushing touchdowns, 1 tossing on the day. No Dolphins player ever has rushed for 4 touchdowns in a game. 35-13 over New England. Don and Dan.
Thank you, James. Well, that old adage about this league on any given Sunday.
Yeah, a couple of heavily favored teams going down.
Tip ball. Ball was partially tipped at the line. Fred Jackson was the target. Penalty marker comes in after the play. The Raiders think it's against the Bills again for pushing off.
They're going to call a pass interference. It's going to be waved off because the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Pass interference, number 53, defense. Automatic first down.
That ball was tipped. That's a bad call by the officials. They got to talk about this one. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Fred Wakefield, number 78.
There's the hole before he threw. Well, that wasn't much of a hole.
That ball was clearly deflected. That's a deflected. That can be no. They actually made the ball a better spiral.
Yeah.
After it hit Wakefield's hat.
The helmet shot. Well, the ball out of midfield. Raiders leading 16-7. 4th quarter, 12:43 to play in it. Lynch and Jackson are in the backfield, and now Trent Edwards wants to be sure of the play call.
Well, and
maybe they're going to review this.
Lane Kiffin wants to talk to the officials about this, as he knows that that ball was deflected by Wakefield's helmet. Therefore, there should be no pass interference.
Tip ball is reviewable. Well, apparently the play is going to hold, and Edwards is quickly back out to the huddle.
And this is a good drive for Buffalo coming out of the deep end of their own field. Edwards with a hot hand. He's hit his last 4 straight.
Now the red flag is out from the Raider sideline, so they want to review.
That's a good play by the Raider sideline.
Absolutely it is.
Oakland is challenging that the ball was tipped prior to the defensive pass interference. We'll review the play. Timeout.
I can't believe that the officials didn't see it. 80,000 Buffalo Bill fans saw exactly this.
An unimaginable reality.
What happened?
It's bad. It's not good. Talk to us.
A hero shot down.
Listen to me. Horatio's gone. He's dead. Okay?
Oh, my God.
A team on the edge.
I released the body.
What?
I'm sorry. I didn't want him lying here in his own blood on the evening news.
Now they will stop at nothing.
Horatio had enemies. We know that.
This doesn't make sense.
To discover the truth.
This must have been someone close.
A new season of CSI Miami. Tomorrow at 10/9 Central on CTV. Closed captioning of this program is brought to you by Not For Sale, the highly anticipated release from Cardinal Official, featuring the hit Dangerous. Not For Sale, in stores now.
Did the ball get deflected?
Now Fred Wakefield is 6'7", number 78 here. It appears right there. It glances off the top of his helmet. Changes direction. Actually made the ball a tighter spiral. See, you can see a little bump there. I think the officials now are trying to figure out what down it was, where the ball should be placed, because this is a good challenge by the Raiders, and shall I say a heads-up play by Fred Wakefield.
Yes, it was. It was indeed. Here's.
After review, the ball did hit the player of the defender's helmet. Therefore, there's no pass interference.
Very good.
On the play.
That's right. There you are, Dan.
It's simply an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass.
3rd down and 7 for Buffalo. Oakland is not charged with a timeout.
If Fred Wakefield was only 6'6", it wouldn't have happened.
And if he was still playing offense, it wouldn't have happened. Very versatile player. Offensive tackle and a defensive tackle. Used his head that one.
Now they're going to move the ball back. Position the ball across the Bills' 35-yard line out to the 40. And they have it a 3rd down and 6 where it's positioned. So big down for the Bills, and this Raider defense has been so tough to convert on.
You take away yardage and you take away the 1st down with that reversal.
Bills 2 for 9 on 3rd down conversions. The Raiders believe they're not only 1 for 10 on 3rd down conversions. Brent Edwards needs 6. Stands in. Makes the connection. 1st down. Josh Reed, a 7-year veteran from LSU. Out. Makes the play. Von Branch gets him down, but there is a gain of 7 on a 3rd and 6, and the Bills keep their drive alive.
And talking to Turk Schonert, the offensive coordinator, about number 82. Calls him cagey, working across the middle there. And that's really a skill that very few receivers have. Wes Welker comes to mind as this ball hits the ground. Ground cannot cause the fumble. Big play by number 82.
Brett Jackson is the I-back. Over combo runners, Jackson and Lynch. Edwards, open receiver, and Lee Evans comes back at the ball and makes a play at the 37-yard line. A gain of 16 yards and a penalty marker down in the Bills' backfield. Were they holding? They were.
10-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
It's one way to keep him off your quarterback, but it doesn't help.
And this quarterback's got a hot hand, too. Remember, he completed 10 in a row last week to start the game against Jacksonville. See the holding on Derek Dockery, number 66, on Tommy Kelly. Pretty easy call to make there. But Edwards can get hot. He seems to have finally gotten into a bit of a rhythm.
First down and 20. Too much on it. Hard throw off the hands of Derek Schumann, the tight end, who with a check down to the tight end. The pressure has been nonstop from this Raider defense.
Yeah, it's surprising that the Bills haven't thrown any screen passes today with a running back combination of Fred Jackson and Marshawn Lynch, both good receivers out of the backfield. Jackson had a huge day last week against Jacksonville on screen passes and short passes. It would be something that would slow down this Raider pass rush for sure.
Second down and 20. Good fake, swing pass. This is Royal, the tight end, and he's out inside the 45-yard line of the Raiders. Kirk Morrison upends him, but a big gain, a 17-yard gain.
Kind of an inside bootleg for Buffalo. After the shotgun, the fake to Jackson, and look at Royal coming out with the quarterback. And a beautiful throw by Edwards. Got it to him quickly so the big man can rumble.
He does indeed rumble. Big Robert Royal from LSU. We're going to the tight ends more this year under the Turk Schonert offense.
Play clock running down now, and Edwards is going to have to call timeout. They had trouble getting the play squared away for the young quarterback.
For great selection and great savings, come to the plumbing, heating, and electrical sale at Home Hardware. Save $30 on a Moen Quinn High Arc faucet. Save $50 on a Honeywell programmable thermostat. Save 40% on a Can-Arm ceiling fan. Earn Aeroplan miles. Use your home card and make 12 equal payments with absolutely no fees. The plumbing, heating, and electrical sale. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center.
Help is close to home.
Tests prove that with the Shell Gold Air Miles MasterCard from BMO, you earn Air Miles reward miles on every purchase and double Air Miles at Shell. Sign up now. For the first 3 months, you receive 5 times miles for every $15 you spend at Shell. Wow! Tests prove that no matter what you buy, the Shell Premium Cashback MasterCard from BMO gives you 1% cash back on every purchase and 3% cash back at Shell. Sign up now and for the first 3 months, receive 10% cash back at Shell. It can really add up.
I don't know what you guys are doing, but don't stop.
Every McDonald's Egg McMuffin is made with a freshly cracked Canada Grade A large egg. Enjoy one today.
As Canada prepares for election 2008, turn to CTV News for the complete political picture. Leading up to election night, watch CTV National News with Lloyd Robertson.
We're back to Western New York. Ralph Wilson Stadium sold out. Bills fans seeing their team up against a really inspired Raider team. Now the Bills with their best drive of this game, really, Dan.
Well, they started on their 4-yard line, 10 plays to this point, but talk about a huge play, 3rd and 2.
And a long 2 at that. They've got to advance it to the 42-yard line of the Raiders. Edwards looks, fires, gets an open man. Roscoe perishes down to the 33-yard line. 11-yard gain, and all of a sudden, Trent Edwards is looking laser sharp throwing the ball.
Watch the quickness of Roscoe Parrish, number 11. Good coverage by Hall, but it's those short little quick steps by Parrish that gave him that room to catch that pass. Nice bullet from Trent Edwards.
Bills are down by 2 scores. They've had problems with turnovers. They turned it over 3 times. The Raiders just once. Another throw. Evans running an out pattern.
Now it's an all-out blitz by the Raiders. Edwards saw it. He's going to his hot receiver. But that's that miscommunication. Evans thinking he was supposed to run a quick out. Edwards threw him a slant route.
How do you identify the hot receiver?
Well, if you're outnumbered on the blitz side of that receiver, that becomes the guy that's responsible to make this side adjustment. He's the hot guy.
2nd down and 10. Edwards, open man. This is Josh Reed, and he's down inside the 15-yard line. Down as he gets ahead for a gain of 18 yards, and Edwards now looking as good as advertised.
And D'Angelo Hall a little slow getting up after missing this tackle, playing way off. Man-to-man coverage, but off. That's the difference between Hall and Nnamdi Asomugha. Asomugha with that size, 6'2", 210, he likes to get right up in the face of the receiver, play bump and run, but Hall prefers to play off. That time he got burned.
Bills got a touchdown on a 14-yard run by Marshawn Lynch, and they briefly took the lead in this game 7-6 when they did in the first half.
This is finally the Buffalo offense we were expecting to see.
This is the 13th play of the drive. Another blitzers are coming. It looks like they're up to the run to Lynch. Brings some tacklers with him. Thomas Howard got him first, but he does get plus yards down to close to the 11-yard line. Be 2nd and 6.
You could just see the maturity level rise for Trent Edwards. I'm talking to Dick Duran. He says when you first meet the guy, you just sense his presence and his confidence. He's not cocky, he's confident, he's intelligent, and he carries himself well, which you have to do under pressure situations such as this one.
He grew up watching the Raiders from Los Gatos, California. Here is Edwards looking, firing. It's caught inside the 5-yard line. Josh Reed makes the big play.
And he's getting the ball to his wide receivers, all against the left corner of the Raiders.
He's playing that corners off, yeah.
Yeah, they're playing so far off. That's just too far for Rashad Baker there.
That's a good point, Dan. You're talking about Asamoah. He plays up, but D'Angelo Hall's playing corners off on that side.
This drive started on the 4-yard line of Buffalo. Now to the 3 of Oakland.
1st and goal. Marshawn Lynch in the backfield gets the ball. Boy, the whole offense went into the end zone.
Now we got a flag thrown after the touchdown. You're right, Don. That was a flying wedge, wasn't it? That goes back to your Notre Dame days.
Right. We ran that regularly.
I know what part of the wedge you were, too.
Newt Rockne loved that play. If it's against the Raiders, it'll come after the extra point on the kickoff, and the Raiders will have the long field. Time becoming a factor, though. The Raiders have moved the clock nicely. They are 7:59 left.
After the score, unnecessary roughness, number 28 of the defense. That player has been ejected. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Jabril Wilson out, gone. Personal foul and an ejection.
I tell you, that's very unlike him.
Look at this flying wedge here. He just lowers his head, and everybody just says, push.
Rugby scrum, it heads into the end zone, so now the extra point.
You can see Wilson was punching a Bill with an open fist, slapping, and that got him the ejection and the long walk to the locker room.
Janikowski, the Raiders kicker, has hit everything he's been asked to make. 3 field goals and the extra point, and now Ryan Lindell to try the point after. He, of course, missed a field goal. Bills would be taking the lead now had he made it. Raiders still will have at the worst a 2-point lead and the ball with 7:59 to play. Lindell continues his long streak, over 250 extra points without a miss as a pro. So it's tightened up again. The Raiders get the ball when we come back.
You're fast, but he'll make you faster. You run hard, he'll show you how to run harder. And you're good, but he'll make you better.
This fall, discover the true story of a coach.
We shouldn't play him.
I'm playing. You're damn right you are. And the player who would become the first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy.
What matters is what you play for.
The Express, in theaters Friday, October 10th.
A personal crisis.
I feel like I don't deserve to be here. I feel very out of control.
An ongoing feud.
He's a total head case. Suck it up, do your job.
And a reluctant witness.
Nurse! He tore a long path of destruction through the city.
It's a rough ride for the new assistant DA.
It's great to finally be out in the trenches. Mind if I stay?
Actually, I do. A new season of Law and Order SVU starts Tuesday at a special time, 8/7 Central on CTV.
Trent Edwards of the Bills just engineered a 96-yard drive.
Took 8:55 off the clock. Bills were 3 for 3 on third down, and remember they had 1 third down conversion taken away from them because of the pass interference that was not pass interference when it hit the helmet of Fred Wakefield. So great drive led by the young quarterback Trent Edwards. So now the pressure goes on the other young quarterback's shoulders, Jamarcus Russell. We'll see what he can do protecting a small lead.
Yeah, just a 2-point lead, but Russell and the Raiders are holding to a 2-point advantage, 16-14, still 7:59 to play. Spinning kick, Johnny Lee Higgins. Down at the 16-yard line, so the Bills now got an injection of go and scored that touchdown. A power touchdown if there ever was one. Everybody goes into the end zone.
On September 30th, the wait is over. Iron Man. Own it on 2-disc DVD and Blu-ray September 30th.
The new iPhone 3G instantly updates your work calendar, pushes your work email, and automatically keeps up with your work content. In other words, it works great with work.
Collect letters from Coca-Cola drinks to play online, and you could win up to $250,000. And in store, a smart car, tickets to Universal concerts, and many more great prizes instantly. Subway, think fresh, eat fresh.
Oh, is that your car? Yes. Some people, huh? Well, no point just standing around with a perfectly good 2008 Suzuki SX4 sedan right here. European tuned suspension, good low-end acceleration. Take a test drive. I'll stick around here in case these guys come back. Have fun.
We think you should test drive a new Suzuki SX4 sedan, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you to do it. Now get 0% purchase financing for 72 months on 2008 SX4 sedans. See your Suzuki dealer for details.
Bills fans are rocking here in Buffalo, but the Raiders have the lead, 2 points and the ball. 7:53 to play. McFadden bounces outside. And the Bills are all over it. Result, about a 1-yard gain. Jabari Greer was the guy who caught him, and it looked like McFadden might break a big one, which he can do.
Great job of Greer staying at home on the outside. Because at that point there, if he's not coming up to make that tackle, McFadden's got a lot of room to run down that left side.
Now Michael Bush is the eye back for the Raiders on 2nd and 9. Michael Bush, he's shut down.
You know, very predictable offense for the Raiders with the young quarterback and this crowd back into it. Look at that. One pass thrown in the second half. And here we've got just under 7 minutes to go in the ball game. You may think they're playing not to lose, but they do have the lead, and their defense has played well, except for that last 96-yard drive of Buffalo.
You never win a set of downs without throwing a pass. Here's Jamarcus Russell. He needs over 9. Takes a look, fires, and it's caught. What a great play by the Raiders. Johnny Lee Higgins is gone. And a penalty after the play. So the second pass he's thrown this half is the game winner. It would appear an 84-yard touchdown play.
And he showed his strength. This is why the Raiders drafted him, because of his natural talent. Dante Whitner's going to get the flag for the tackle on Higgins 10 yards deep in the end zone. but it's a slant route that Jamarcus Russell fit into the smallest of places, and Higgins, with his great speed, did the rest.
James Lofton, the Raiders receiver coach, congratulating Johnny Lee Higgins, who's had some big moments today. The opening kickoff of 68 yards returned by Higgins resulted soon after in the first score of the game, a field goal.
Play. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. Unnecessary roughness, number 20 on the defense. Those fouls offset. Touchdown.
The first foul against the Raiders was for taunting. The second call there against Whitner for the late tackle.
So the Raiders, when they needed it most, break the big play. Second pass thrown this half by their quarterback. And look what he does with it. A 61-yard touchdown pass play. Now Janikowski, who's been automatic today, kicking 3 field goals. And another extra point, and the Raiders extend to another 8-point lead, and now just 6:23 left to play.
Now, watch from the right side of the screen. Here comes Higgins. And look at that little window there in front of Pozlosny. I mean, that had to go right underneath the arm of the linebacker to Higgins.
Well, how did Higgins taunt anybody? He just slowed down running. You have to run fast?
Don't ask me. I've never understood the taunting rule. I know sometimes it looks bad, but sometimes it's all in good fun. I mean, maybe here's the taunting. I'm not sure. That's just celebration.
I mean, I don't think the Raiders did anything wrong. They certainly didn't do anything wrong in his pass play.
I mean, that ball could not have been handed to Higgins any better than it was thrown to Higgins. Mr. Higgins.
Now the ball will be kicked off from the 30, offsetting penalties. Look at the kick returns by Johnny Lee Higgins today. And he's right in there again to cover the kick.
Now he had that 68-yarder against Denver. He had a 58-yard kickoff return against Kansas City, a 42-yard kickoff return. And now this huge pass reception for a touchdown. He may be the guy the Raiders need to stretch the defenses, something that Lane Kiffin said his offense desperately needed, a big play from their wide receivers. They got it.
Officially, Dan, an 84-yard touchdown play. Leotis McKelvin gets it out across the 30 in the first 53 minutes. Russell passed for 72 yards, and then that last pass surpassed that. Coming up next, the Steelers battle the Eagles, the Jaguars meet the Colts, and the Browns take on the Ravens. Check local listings. A doubleheader day on the NFL on CBS. What do you do here to start firing away? I guess there's still 6:18 to go, but Edwards needs to hit the big ball.
Trouble is, you're down by 9. That's 2 scores. The key here, though, is just go down, get into field goal range, and get the field goal first. Worry about the touchdown later. Save time.
Edwards lets the long ball go. Roscoe Parrish is out of bounds, as is the ball. Incomplete pass. Stanford route. 26 was covering on the play.
Route is the nickel back for the Oakland Raiders.
Dick Duran, his team, he's really had a pleased at how together his team has been, how they've made the big plays. And now they need big plays against a Raider defense that has been unrelenting, super tough. 2nd and 10. Edwards heading for the 12th man, and he gets out of bounds. Those linebackers are coming with malice in their hearts. Look at these. It's a good day to be on the road. I would never have thought that. The Bengals leading the Giants in the 4th quarter.
Road dogs.
At the start of the day, 10 NFL teams were 2-0, 5 in the AFC, the Bills being one of them. Raiders come in 1-1. This is a 3rd and 6 play. .5:43 to play and the clock running. Now they're throwing a catch. Josh Reed, who's really come alive, making a lot of plays. Former second-round draft choice from LSU. He gets a 22-yard gainer.
Yeah, he had 3 catches in the last drive, and plus he drew the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Jabril Wilson. That was a huge third down conversion, something the Bills did a lot of the last time they had the ball.
Edwards again, another timely throw. This time it's off the hands of James Hardy, the big rookie from Indiana on the field. Guy caught a touchdown pass last week, a big target.
And he should have caught this one. He had his hands backwards, though, and took his eye off the ball as Michael Huff and Angelo Hall in the neighborhood. Remember, Wilson's been ejected, so the Raiders are down defensive backs. Tyvon Branch, who picked off a pass last week against Kansas City, is in the game, as is Rashad Baker.
And the Bills, with only 1 timeout remaining, down by 9. Edwards looks. Terrific throw. Coming back at the ball was Lee Evans.
You hear that ball pop against the shoulder pads of Lee Evans. That shows you the velocity that Edwards had on that 13-yard completion.
The clock running, though. It's working with the Raiders at this point as they hold to a 23-14 lead. They led at the half 9-7. Blown out in their home opener on opening night in Oakland. They've come back to play great football the last 2 weeks. Now the Bills trying to get it. Throwing a catch down to the 14-yard line. A 16-yard gain.
Yeah, he can't just give Edwards this much time to throw. Nobody around him can step up and find the receiver over the middle. Another strike from Trent Edwards.
And the clock runs.
And now the Raiders appear to have called timeout, Don.
Yep. "18 new castaways marooned in exotic Africa. Survivor Gabon premieres Thursday on CBS in high definition." Raiders have beaten the Bills the last 4 times they've played. They lead the series 19 wins to 15. They've had great games.
This is where I'm talking about. Maybe it's time to kick the field goal here, and then you have time to play defense or go for an onside kick. If you burn it all the time to get into the end zone here, you may not have enough time on the tail end of this thing. You're down by 9, so you need 2 scores. What do? You get the field goal first or go for the touchdown?
Well, you were out there for 15 years. You'd go for the field goal, huh?
No, yeah, I like the way Edwards is playing, though, Don, and I think he's hot. So I would keep going. Keep going with the hot hand.
Yeah, the touchdown's the hardest thing to get. So they're moving the ball again. They had a 96-yard drive on a previous possession, ending in a touchdown. Edwards is really hot. Now 21 of 36. Another throw. Roscoe Parrish. He's in. Touchdown, Bills.
That's as good a throw as a quarterback can make. About to get hit in the face, puts it right on the 1-1 of Roscoe Parrish. He steps into the corner of the end zone, and we've got ourselves a finish coming up. What a throw by Trent Edwards. But he's hot. He's had time to throw. And even if you got time to throw, the pressure's coming as it was on that play. You don't feel it as much. You say just want to get rid of that ball. Great route by Parrish. Got separation. Got in for the score easily.
Ryan Lindell with a point after. Snap and set down are good, and again the Raiders lead is cut to 2. And of course the Bills under defensive coordinator Perry Fewell are going to be very wary of that seam route that split them for an 84-yard touchdown the last time the Raiders had the ball.
Now Turdell Sands just kissed Edwards right in the face a little bit too late. This ball is out quickly on target, touchdown. And since the interception that was a controversial one earlier in this half, look at that shot. Sands goes 335, and Edwards is going to feel that for about 6 weeks. But since that first interception, second half, or his only interception, Edwards has hit 13 of 18 for 193 and that touchdown, and he's engineered a couple of very impressive drives.
Trent Edwards always takes his seat on the bench next to Lee Evans. Very little said. They're just waiting to get back out there, but now it's up again. The pressure goes to Jamarcus Russell and the Raider offense. On this, what might be the best game of this NFL season to date.
Edwards going up and down the sidelines, congratulating, and also telling the guys, hey, believe it, we get it back, we're going to score again. That's the mindset, that's the attitude of a maturing Trent Edwards.
But the Raiders have big play people, not the least of whom is Johnny Lee Higgins. Waiting the kickoff, a booming kickoff. And he's going to down the ball at his leisure, but it is a touchback, and so the Raiders, with a 2-point lead, will start from their 20. No time elapsed on the kickoff. 4:03 left to play.
And a great kickoff, because when Higgins got the ball, he was backing up. If he could catch the ball moving forward, he might have brought it out and given us a thrill again. But the kickoff by Lindell forced him to back up to make the catch. Therefore, he had to down it.
The Bills only have one timeout left when they do get the ball back, if they do get the ball back.
I remember the last time the Raiders had the ball, similar situation. They ran it on first down, ran it on second down, didn't get much, and then lightning from the right arm of Jamarcus Russell to Higgins for that bomb put him in the end zone. It'll be interesting to see what type of plays that Lane Kiffin gives his young quarterback with 4:03 to go.
Well, with the lead, you'd think it might be conservative, because a turnover in this area could set the Bills up with a field goal. Michael Bush is the running.
The bell.
He gets the ball and gets nothing.
Oh, that was a dangerous handoff, because Russell was tripped coming away from center, almost stumbled.
Yeah, he did well just to get the ball in his hands.
It's his foot stepped on by his center, Jake Grove. And heck of a play by Kyle Williams, getting penetration, no gain.
What a game. Raiders working at their leisure, taking as much time as they can. 2nd and 10 comes up for the Raiders. Nothing again. But the Raiders will continue to take time off the clock. Marcus Stroud, the big run stuffer, stops Michael Bush. And here we have a 3rd and 12, Dan, and we remember what happened a little in a long yardage play.
And I'm sure the Bills do too. They're going to be looking for Higgins. Actually, Higgins is going to come out of the game. The Raiders are going to stay conservative, at least with their personnel. They leave the fullback Griffith in the ball game.
And the clock ticks on. Third down, Raiders need 12 to keep it going. Jamarcus Russell takes a look, long ball. Coverage is there, it's an incomplete pass, and they'll have to punt with 2:41 left to play.
And the key there, the clock stops in the incomplete pass, and the Bills still have one timeout to work with when they get the ball back. I thought that was a misread by Russell. He had Ashley Lilly on a linebacker, Kavika Mitchell on the other side of the field, decided to go to his wide receiver Curry for no gain.
Shane Leckler, the all-pro punter, standing at his 4-yard line. Perfect snap, booming punt. Roscoe Parrish, ever dangerous, will run it back. Good coverage by the Raiders. Sam Williams, the lead tackler, a 58-yard punt by Leckler, an 8-yard return. So what do you think, Dan? Where do they have to get in field goal range? As long as 54, but he did miss one today, Ryan Lindell.
Yeah, so usually you want to get them inside of 50 yards, so that means bringing the ball to the 30-yard line. But how about the job by Trent Edwards on the last drive, hitting Josh Reed there, and then finding Lee Evans with another bullet. These are all well-timed passes, none finer than that one to Roscoe Parrish.
Trent Edwards sets in the shotgun. He has hit 22 of 37 for 252. Connection out to the 45-yard line.
And they should hustle the line of scrimmage and not wait to the 2-minute warning. They can get an extra play off, and they'll get to stop the clock in extra time.
That was Josh Reed again, Dan, as he now has caught 6 passes for 72 yards.
Working his magic over the middle.
This will take us to the 2-minute warning. Another throw and a catch. The elusive one, Roscoe Parrish, sneaks inside the 40, a gain of 16 yards. So the Raiders lead, but the Bills are challenging with 2 minutes to play.
Connect to everything you love in life in a bold new way. Introducing BlackBerry Bold. As beautiful as it is powerful.
On your wedding day, it's all about the bride. Her dress, her flowers, her hair. But when everyone is looking at her, she will be looking at you. So rent your tuxedo at Moore's, and you'll look almost as good as she does. Moore's, well made, well priced, well dressed.
The backbone of any truck is its frame. That's why the Nissan Titan's frame is fully boxed. Unlike competitor C-frames that are prone to flexing, our boxed frame is the strongest truck frame we've ever built. Just one more reason, it's the Titan of trucks. The 317 horsepower, full-size Nissan Titan.
Saturday.
I've been diagnosed with cancer. Tough crowd.
He's dying for a ride.
I love this guy.
Follow one man's comedic crusade against cancer.
Life's not on hold. Actually, death's on hold.
Watch That's My Time, Saturday at 7 on CTV.
With Dan Fouts, this is Don Criqui back at Western New York's Ralph Wilson Stadium. The Buffalo Bills trying to fight from behind. The Raiders have led virtually the whole way. The Bills did have a 7-6 lead at one point. Now the Bills with 1:58 to play, down by 2 at the 39-yard line of the Raiders. Are they going to send an all-out blitz and try to get to Edwards? They go to the run, and Marshawn Lynch fighting for yards. He is a tough man.
Yeah, now they've got Lindell within the 50-yard range.
Still got 1:46 to play, and the clock running.
And you got to give credit to this offensive line right now. Their size and power has worn down this speed and quickness of the Raider defensive line. And also philosophically, the Raiders have changed their defense. They're playing soft zone coverages. Edwards has hit 15 of his last 20, including his last 5 in a row.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. He now has hit 24 of 39 for 279, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Hand off, and here is Marshawn Lynch working the sideline inside the 25-yard line. They'll spout him out of bounds. It appears to be just inside the 25, a gain of 7, and now they're clearly in field goal range.
Well, here comes the blitz now, and it doesn't get as he rips away from Tommy Kelly and gets out of bounds to stop the clock. So it's almost like the Bills, Dick Geron and his offensive coordinator, Turk Schonert, are out guessing Rob Ryan.
Well, the Bills haven't been to the playoffs in 9 years. The Raiders haven't been there in 5. A critical early season game. The Bills haven't started 3-0 in 16 years. Lynch, both arms on the ball to the 19-yard line.
And now you start thinking about using the clock. You're in field goal range. You've got a timeout in your pocket to kick the field goal. You don't need to hurry now. The clock is your enemy.
Raiders have 2 timeouts remaining, but they're not using them.
Now, I wouldn't be using them.
2 timeouts for the Raiders, but this is...
It just needed
to be modern sounding to me. The drums were just a little out of line with the feel of the track, so it was pretty straight ahead, and thank God he liked that. And he was really great to work with, very open, obviously a pro in terms of music, so it was very easy.
There you go. You ready for it? You want to hear it now?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
All right, the Hockey Night in Canada look and Graham's song. Ladies and gentlemen, the final version of anthem number 3.
Hello, Canada and hockey fans in the United States and Newfoundland.
Face value, Graham. Just found out you and I were at the Crown and Anchor and read your minis tonight. Hey, listen, Alex is a lot better than you and with you than he is with Ricky of the Trailer Park Boys. Well done. If you want to vote for Graham McRae's The 11th Hour, 2 more songs still to come, but here's how in the end you would vote for Graham.
The Bell Vote. If you want to vote for Graham McRae and anthem number 3, call 1-900-451-9999 and press 3. To vote for Graham by text message, text the number 3 to 777-111. Or go online to cbcsports.ca/anthem and click anthem number 3.
All 5 of the anthems you hear tonight are available as ringtones exclusively from Bell. When we come back, Canada's most talented drummers lend a helping hand.